Welcome, everyone, to the Kansas Coliseum in Wichita, Kansas, where tonight the Cleveland Crunch try to duplicate their effort and their result from March 15th when they won a big game here, 7-6 in sudden death overtime. A pleasant good evening, everyone. I'm John Paul Della Camera. Alongside me is Ty Keogh. Folks, this is a regular season game, but you should see playoff intensity.
Well, the time has come. The Crunch have just 9 games remaining. They're trailing currently these Wichita Wings by 4.5 games, so you come in here and it counts double. To be able to come in and match yourself directly against the team that you're trying to catch, that means you better do it tonight.
When they scored 7 goals here a couple of weeks ago, Kai Hoskevy ended up with 3 of those goals. He is having another fine season for the Crunch, and Hoskevy is one of the guys that they're relying on right now. Hoskevy and Karich, who's been red hot of late.
Well, Karich has been a fine addition to the attack. In particular, he really gives the Crunch an added dimension, a player who can really take up a position near the other team's goal, hold the ball, dish it off, but also can sting with his good finishing ability as well.
And the player, Coach Hoskevy, this is the kind of games that I think he lives for.
He lives for them. He's an important playmaker to the team. He's always been a motivator by example. Now he's a little bit over the injury problems he had been having earlier in the season, and he wants to come in and make a difference.
On the opposite side, the double trouble for the Wings has been the combination of Dale Irvine and Chico Borja. They've been magnificent. Tonight, the Crunch get a break because Borja is injured.
Borja's been having problems with some inflamed tendons in his ankles. He's only scored 2 goals since late January, so he's not been able to contribute as he normally does, and he is a player that rises to the occasion in these type of situations. We're getting right down to the playoff stretch. They will miss him very much. Irvine, a great player in his own right, who's emerged as a top scorer in this league, but he may not be as effective without Borja on the field.
We'll see how effective the Wings are and the Crunch when we come back and see the kickoff live from Wichita.
Facsimile. Again, technology is revolutionizing our business environment. Today, information can be delivered within seconds at a cost you can finally afford. Canex, Cleveland's oldest Canon facsimile dealer, can put the power of facsimile to work for you with the plain paper fully featured laser-driven Faxel 920, the plain paper Fax 350 with the personal Fax 120. Have Canex put the power of Canon facsimile in your hands. Call Canex for your free demonstration.
Free food! How much could you cart away in 3 minutes? Find out. Enter the lottery's new shopping spree drawing when you play Pick 3 and Pick 4. You could win 3 minutes to fill as many carts as you can. Just mail in a non-winning Pick 3 ticket and a non-winning Pick 4 ticket purchased since March 1st. Enter as often as you like. We'll draw 5 winners each week. See your lottery sales agent today for details and check it out.
Easy for you to say.
Sports Channel Ohio is the cable home of the Cleveland Indians. All season long, we'll bring you the all-American thrills of the tribe. The Cleveland Indians on Sports Channel Ohio.
Get to know one of the best teams in college basketball. Digger Phelps helps you keep pace with Notre Dame, introducing you to the team and taking you on the hardwood for every matchup. The Digger Phelps Show, Mondays at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, exclusively on Sports Channel America. Watch some of the best soccer players compete in one of the oldest soccer leagues in the world. Direct from Great Britain, it's English League Soccer. Rugged and exciting action every week on English League Soccer, only on Sports Channel America. Check your TV listings for days and times.
Welcome back, everyone. We're at the Kansas Coliseum in Wichita. Always a tough building for visiting teams, although the Crunch did well here the last time, winning at 7-6. They'll have to beat Chris Pete if they're going to win this one tonight. A look at Chris Pete, who almost was a member of this year's Crunch team. He and Otto Orff were the 2 goalkeepers, and then along came P.J. Johns. And when Johns became available, it left the other 2 to battle it out, and then Orff won that battle. There's a look at P.J. Johns, who's been established as the Crunch #1 goalkeeper since the start of the year. And a quick look at P.J. Johns' numbers. He comes in with the 7th best goals against average in the MISL. We've got Ty Keogh, the 2 most penalized teams in the MISL. And the last time these 2 clubs met, fouls galore on both sides. A very rough game. Terry Rowe ended up getting suspended for 2. I wonder if we'll see any of that stuff here tonight.
Well, a controversial incident, as you mentioned, in the last time these 2 teams met here. And also involved in that was Chico Borja, who was ejected later on in that game. Rowe apparently threw an ice bag at Hector Marinero as a form of retaliation. He was suspended for 2 games and fined $750.
We'll watch and see what Marinero can contribute to this club. He has only practiced once this week, James a couple of times, but they're not looking ahead to tomorrow night's game with St. Louis. They feel this is the one they've got to win. So if they could only use Hector and Bernie for 1 game, they want it to be tonight, obviously.
There's a great deal at stake here. It really sets the entire tone for the rest of the season, the results of this game.
There's the ex-player, Terry Nickel. Kevin Cooley, his assistant, still does play some for the Wings. He's played in over 400 games, but they are 2 of the more popular players to ever play for this franchise. We're underway here in Wichita. Marinero to Sweeney. Mike Sweeney playing a lot at the back these days for the Crunch. Sent long by P.J. Johns, and then Victor Moreland heads it away. Sweeney, and now Chapman. Here's David Burns, stuck at by Mike Sweeney, who played on his line in Minnesota. Here's Michael King, a left footer, and it's blocked. No one sees it. Now King heads it far side. Nobody home to collect it for the Crunch. And Chapman will clear it the other way, and Mike Sweeney, the Crunch captain, is back for it. A giveaway to Chapman. He and Byrne can't get to it. Sweeney right back up to Marinero. Knocked away by Terry Rowe. Marinero headed into open spaces. Hagen knocks it back to Dargo. Benny lost his footing a bit. Gets it over to Sweeney. We're not even a minute old here in Wichita as Hagen plays it. Had his best year ever in the MISL here in Wichita. Scored better than 40 goals a few seasons back. Upfield now Marinero. Laying it off to Michael King. And now for Sweeney. Ahead for Hagen. Crunch did not play all week. Their last game was Sunday, while Wichita actually outplayed, from what everyone says, Kansas City last night, but lost a tough one on the road 4-3, and they're without Chico Borja tonight. Borja didn't play last night either. Tendonitis in, we were told, both ankles. He told us before the game it's really in his left ankle as we look at Chris Pete trying to set up the offense here for the Wings. There's more pressure on the Wings. They're the home team, and they've got the advantage in the race for that final playoff spot. Lead pass for Ketter. Now it's Chico Morera. Karich marking up with Willen as Ketter is blocked by Benny Dargo. Neither team has had a chance to score, and we're almost 2 minutes in to the first quarter of play. Ferguson just coming on, knocked away by Vanderbeck. As he pushed it to the middle, Ferguson made a good recovery. Mepham to Karich, the MISL's Offensive Player of the Week. And he is broken up along the boards by Dale Irvine. Slow start to this game as Ketter has it headed away by Bernie James. James wearing a pad high up on the left leg. Has a contusion on that side that's kept him out of 7 games. Willen is blocked. Hoskeby chasing him. Hoskeby almost got by him. Willen with a good recovery there towards the end, but Hoskeby putting on some pressure. And now they force it back to Chris Pete. Good effort from the player coach, Kai Hoskeby. Long throw out, a good move. Irvine down the wing, off the boards, it's loose. James will clear it out to Hoskeby. Oh, Willen just ran him over. That's an obvious foul. And there's no argument from Greg Willen on that.
Willen makes use of that style of play. It's been effective for him, but he's also come forward this year and scored a few goals, especially with that heavy left foot.
He's had a great year offensively. Here's Hagen, juggled by Chris Pete, but he holds on. Dave Hagen, who had the 40 goals with the Wings and 21 assists a couple years back. Here's Vanderbeck getting it off the foot. Save made. A beauty by P.J. Johns. That's the first big save for either keeper. Mepham battling with Hagen and Vanderbeck. It's loose, and there was a whistle before it.
Well, already 2 important indicators of how this game might go and how important it can be is you see Kai Hoskeby putting out the kind of hustle. He's got to be feeling good, wanting to make a difference in the team, as we said, and then P.J. Johns coming up with a key save as Vanderbeck is in all alone.
Hoskeby and Michael King will alternate as target players tonight. Victor Moreland back with it. Now Marinero joining Hoskeby along with Ferguson, Hagen, and Bernie James as Tom Sohn brings it back. Left side for David Byrne. Byrne has been the Wings' leading scorer since being acquired in the deal with Baltimore. Right side to Moreland. Byrne playing more as a midfielder or second forward with this team. He told me before, Terry Nickel letting him be more creative. Chapman trying to walk in, and Johns was there, but a good run back by Hoskeby. Here comes Ferguson. Ahead to Zoran Karich. on a goal-scoring streak of 5 consecutive games. Karich looking. Couple of nice dribbles and roll. Knocked him down as it's cleared out by Chris Peet. Ahead to Chapman. Dargle slowing down his progress. Chapman up now for Rowe. And a whistle for kicking the other way. So Wichita will put the ball back in play. 10:51 to go in the first quarter. It is scoreless. A reminder that season tickets for next year's Cleveland Crunch team are going to be on sale soon. Expect an announcement within the next couple of weeks by the Crunch front office on how you can get tickets for next year. Here's Terry Rowe over the line, playing it in off those boards for David Byrne. Knocked back towards the point, knocked away by the aggressiveness of Michael King. Backboard is Moreland for Byrne, knocked away again by Sweeney. Cleveland with a great hustle job here in the opening quarter. Karich took it away from Sohn. Now to Sweeney, numbers here. 4-on-3, now 4-on-4 as Marinaro joins to Hector. Just wide on the shot as Byrne did a nice job of tracking. Off a block, off the boards. Here's Karich cutting. He freezes that defense, takes the shot, and he had Chris Peet beaten, but it was just too high. But it shows you what Karich can do from a standing position.
Karich's change of pace, his ability to stop on a dime, is enough to throw the defense off, as you said. And Michael King has got to be the guy that feels the best about the arrival of Dave Hagen and Zoran Karich to take some of that load off of it.
It is scoreless here in the first quarter from Wichita.
Stand right up for who you are. Stand up right now. Stand up and be counted.
The census is not for welfare.
I'm sorry.
But it counts for clinics, schools, and jobs.
Don't worry about a mess.
Census time is the time to speak up. Let's make sure we're all counted. Come on, answer the census.
Stand right up for who you are. Stand up.
A bit of a slow start to this one. It is a scoreless tie, but Ty Keogh, I like the way Cleveland has come out as the aggressor in this opening quarter of play.
Cleveland's been coming forward and starting to create some things. It's really been well played both ways. Here's that last chance as Sweeney slotted the ball over to Marinaro into the space. Marinaro under some heavy pressure still gets the shot off, a shot that would have beaten Chris Peet, in my opinion, but it was just a few inches wide.
Chris Peet in goal for the Wichita Wings and P.J. Johns in goal for the Crunch, and both teams come out with fresh troops out there. Michael King is on along with Dave Hagen and Dennis Mepham, Bernie James and Drew Ferguson at the back. We look at Chris Peet, who played collegiately at North Carolina State and played last year for the Los Angeles Lasers.
Well, this is a solidified Cleveland Crunch team. Hector Marinaro is back. Bernie James is back. Karich has been brought into the team. You've got a team that feels much more confident coming into games.
P.J. Johns with a giveaway. Here comes Ketter. Passing it through, and Johns atones for that error. Good play by P.J. Johns. He made the first mistake, but he stayed right with it.
And he anticipated well to reach that pass before it got to its target.
Johns will send it long. He's been a workhorse for the Crunch. It's tough to play in all of these games like P.J. Johns has. Slobodievsky has done the same with St. Louis. A lot of games, especially these back-to-backs, can be tough. Here's Irvine. Left-footed shot deflected, but Johns sees it all the way. Irvine, a player to watch. He's the leading goal scorer for the Wings. Mepham snuck by Vanderbeck. Now leaves it off for Bernie James. James up the boards for Mepham. Played all the way back, and James has to go back for it. He's got P.J. Johns there with him if he wants to use him. Sent long now for Hoskevy. Hoskevy looking to turn. He had 4 points the last time these two clubs met, including 3 goals. He draws a foul. Look at that quick restart. Ferguson couldn't get a foot to it. That was a nice play. Mepham let it go to Drew Ferguson.
Not a bad idea, because it would certainly have deceived the defense heading for Mepham, leaving Ferguson open behind him.
David Byrne coming back over the line. Takes the shot, but it's right at P.J. Johns. He's looking upfield already, trying to find someone open. Now it's Karich. Wide open is Ferguson. Oh, he snuck by Byrne. Ferguson does not give a good ball to Marinaro. He was open. Here comes Karich, a drive, and that's wide. Pete looked like he had moved late on that one.
That was a deceptive shot. It seemed to pick up speed after it was already off of Marinaro's foot.
Marinaro off those boards for Hoskevy. Hoskevy held up by Chico Moreira. Kai looking to turn back inside the board, still with it. Gives it up to Karich, and look out above. He sends that one as high as you can here at the Kansas Coliseum. He can't believe it himself.
Well, he just wanted that one too badly. Instead of taking full measure of it, he came through and really overpowered and caught the underside half of the ball, which sent it sky high.
Marinaro tells him not to worry about it. You'll get it next time.
Well, that's what you have to look at it that way. It's the next one that counts. There's nothing you can do about that last one.
Karich not only has a 5-game goal scoring streak, but a 6-game point scoring streak. And the first game he ever played as a member of the Crunch was right here in this building. He had a couple of assists in that 7-6 win over the Wings.
Well, here's the whole story. He's got 8 goals and 5 assists in the 6 games that he has played for the Cleveland Crunch.
Think they're not happy about the trade? They're ecstatic over it. They like the trade that brought Hagen here too, although they had to give up Hanno Marhenik. And Paul Wright was a good player too for the Crunch. But the trades have worked out well for Cleveland. I think they'll work out even better next year. Chris Pete will send it long. Chapman and Dargle in the air. Rowe ends up winning it. Now Karich will clear it back upfield. Marinaro against Victor Moreland. Moreland will knock it back. Moreland leads the club in block shots. It's Chris Pete looking to throw for Moreland. Got it by Dargle, but Sweeney is there for Benny Dargle on the boards. Dargle holding up, giving it up now for Sweeney. Up for Marinaro, and Sohn got a piece of him as Hector tried to turn. Marinaro looking for a foul that wasn't called.
And the Boo Birds a little bit after Marinaro, going back to that incident on March 15th between him and Terry Rowe.
Moreland leaving it off now for Byrne. Now it's Tom Sohn in his 2nd year indoors. Up for Moreland. Moreland against Benny Dargle. 7:03 to go. First quarter. It's scoreless here. Sohn, a right footer. Blocked in front. Terry Rowe will get it back. Knocking it to Sohn. He drills it high off the glass and wide. Mike Sweeney will pick it back up. Sweeney trying to lead Michael King, and David Byrne read it well. Byrne coming back, and Sweeney tripped him. That was close to 2 minutes. A quick restart. Too quick. And Byrne started it ahead of where that foul was. He might be appealing why that wasn't 2 minutes. It could have been on Mike Sweeney. Sweeney has had some very good games, especially lately for this Crunch team.
There's Sweeney stepping in. He's there a step late as well, taking Byrne's legs out from under him. Byrne looking for 2 minutes.
Sweeney had a big assist in that win last week against Tacoma. It's played out now to David Byrne. Byrne has Willen back there to help him out. Plays it up instead for Terry Rowe off the touch. Willen in for Chapman, blocked by Benny Dargle. He's done that over 500 times in his MISL career. So has Dennis Mepham, so has Bernie James. Crunch have a lot of shot blockers back there. Here comes Morera, getting free. Across to Chapman. His shot, he scores! Andy Chapman.
Some nice work by the both of them, Morera and Chapman. Chapman taking up a dangerous position, and Morera able to find him. And really the key to it was Chapman's control of the pass. So we'll have a look at it when we come back.
Crunch find themselves on the short end of a 1-0 score in the first quarter.
The key to great sports is great sports coverage, and no channel covers Ohio better than Sports Channel Ohio, designed to bring Ohio sports right into your living room. Down to the buzzer, right to the playoff action of the Cavs, the fast-pitching, power-hitting drive of the Indians, the start-to-finish magic of the Crunch, the ongoing hard-driving competition of the Mid-American Conference, and the crowd-pleasing battles of Ohio high school sports. All there, all on one channel, the channel made for Ohio, Sports Channel Ohio. But sports coverage on your channel doesn't stop there. Sports Channel Ohio also brings you the best of the NHL and Notre Dame. All there, all on your channel, Sports Channel Ohio.
The Wichita Wings have taken the 1-0 first quarter lead. Chico Morera had some space at midfield, finds Chapman in behind the Cleveland Crunch defense. Chapman does a fine job here of controlling that that pass and had some good pace on it to get it through. And then he takes measure of the position of P.J. Johns and beats him to the far side. So Chapman, a good finisher, able to control the ball and get the shot off. Ferreira, though, with the pass that split a couple of the Cleveland Crunch defenders. Dargle tries to get over there. Good control by Chapman. And then the placement of his shot is ideal as it gets past P.J. Johns to the far side.
He's been a Crunch killer this year. He has 6 goals this year against the Crunch. He scores from Moreira at 8:46 or 8:44 of the first quarter, and it's his 20th goal of the year. So it's 1-0 in favor of the Wings. And Moreira, since coming back from a knee injury, has now been doing the business scoring-wise, and this is his 7th game back, and he has scored 5 points. He had a right knee injury that sidelined him for some 24 games. Johns now to Hagen. Here comes Dave Hagen. The last time in here, remember, Cleveland got off to a great start. They led 3-0 at one point. Hagen gives it away to Ketter. Ketter coming back. 9 goals in his last 10 games for Ketter. To Dale Irvine. Irvine's pass is wide, but Vanderbeck will get it. And now here's Bernie James. To Hoskevy. He didn't see Hagen breaking into the open. No one sees him. Now Marinaro to Hagen. Blocked by Chris Pete. He got a hand out there. Chris Pete, I think, is saying it hit him in the face. They're calling for the shootout. A handball outside of the box.
We'll have to take a look at this one again because he did have his hands up. Whether he actually got him up in time to use his hands deliberately on the ball is not clear at this point. But in my book, he did use his hands. It may have caught part of his face as well, as he claims, but he had his hands up there to help block it.
Tell you, it was something because Hoskevy, you know, he didn't see it, because if he had seen Hagen, he delivers it or he lets it go through to Hagen. And then it looked like the opportunity was going to be wasted. Marinaro gives him a pass. It's a little bit behind Hagen, enabling Pete to come out, but they get the shootout out of it.
They get the shootout out of it, and some good combination work by the Crunch in terms of their offense, with Marinaro and Hoskevy getting involved, and Hagen trying to finish it. But Bernie James looked very strong also in winning that ball initially along the boards, and it's a little surprising because of he's not played that much as of late.
They pick the shooter. They choose Carrots. Why not? He's been hot. Here he comes against Pete. He's got 5 seconds, and it is blocked by Chris Pete. He made the save on him. Wow, the Crunch will still have a power play, but that's a big-time save for Chris Pete. But Carrots looked like he was trying to get him committed, and it looked almost effortless on Carrots' part. I'm not sure what he was thinking.
Well, a little bit surprising to me that a player of Carrots' talents with so many moves, he's got a full 5 seconds maybe to try a few of them. Instead, he did it in a very streamlined fashion, tried to get the shot off early, and that's really plays to the advantage of the goalkeeper. He doesn't have to get jockeyed around.
Well, the penalty is going to be served by Ketter. Chris Pete for the handball. Crunch have done better of late on the power play. Kai Hoskevy attributes that to getting other personnel, including Karich,
and including himself,
because he's healthy now. Here is Karich to Sweeney. Hoskevy back out to Sweeney. Crunch on the man advantage. Looking as Hoskevy had it partially blocked by Moreira. Mike Sweeney holding on to it. Left point into the corner. King. And that ball took a funny hop on Michael King, so that when he kicked it, there was a lot more top spin on it than he wanted. On the power play this year, the Crunch are second at 32%. And earlier in the year, they were 5th. They were even 6th at one point and came up in the last couple of weeks. There's a look at Ketter, who is serving that penalty. On the power play, watch out for Michael King. He has scored 4 power play goals this year. Kai Hoskevy with 3, and you've always got to watch out for Karich. Hector Marinaro with 3 power play goals. This is Vanderbeck. Wings normally do a nice job killing penalties, but they've given up 8 goals in their last 17 tries. That's almost 50%. Long one the other way, and Johns got in there before getting injured. That was a potentially dangerous situation for PJ. It went out of play. Wings this year have also given up 5 shorthanded goals, and I know Terry Nickel doesn't like that stat.
We're going to see P.J. Johns doing what goalkeepers have to do, and that's put their health on the line. He comes outside the box. He can't use his hands, as Pete did earlier. He does well to judge it and get a piece of the ball in time, and then Mepham cleared it.
Long shot taken by Moreira. Here's P.J. Johns. Crunch are down to 1:11 on the power play. Mike Sweeney will bring it up, leaving it up now for Zoran Karic. Left side, Michael King. Sweeney and King play back and forth with it. Wide open on the right is Marinaro if they can swing it to him. Here's Karic. Now he goes that way. Marinaro drawing zone to him. To Karic. Couple of nice moves, Karic. Right side, Marinaro in the box. Michael King couldn't get a shot away. Loose ball, Mike Sweeney, and that's blocked. King will leave it for Karic. Again, Marinaro is open, but they're not going that way. Karic holding. Marinaro looking as it's deflected out of play. Should be a corner kick. Nope. Goal kick.
It's a corner. It's a corner.
Fans were just applauding the Wings' efforts. Thought for a second that they were going to give it to Chris Pete. It was deflected last by the Wings. So the Crunch will put it in play. 31 seconds left. It's all right if you're using Marinaro as a decoy, but no one was going that way. So I didn't see them getting any advantage that way. Here's Hoskevy. And we know what he does well on those restarts. Saw it last week especially. Here he goes. Out to Marinaro. The shot that was blocked by Morera. Karic. It rolls out to Sweeney. Did a good job to get it away from Byrne, with Byrne putting on tremendous pressure. And now it's cleared by Tom Sohn. Johns out of his goal. 17 seconds left in the power play. A 1-0 Wichita lead with 3:44 to go in the first quarter. Marinaro settling it. Hector on the left foot. It is blocked by Sohn. It should be another corner coming up. Marinaro did a good job to settle that one.
Well, we're watching the two teams in the entire Major Indoor Soccer League who've given up the most goals in the course of the season. At this point, you wouldn't suspect it. Just a 1-0 game so far, but both teams really realizing the importance of this game and playing some very tight defense, and the goalkeepers are also rising to the occasion.
Hoskevy will put it in play on the restart. Kai Hoskevy, a 7-time All-Star, a member of the All-Decade team. 32 years old. There's a look at Chris Pete positioning his defense. Hoskevy right across. Karic couldn't settle it. And on the half volley, puts it upstairs. That was a tough one for him to handle. Zoran Karic has done wonders for this team already. You mentioned his stats before, but besides the stats, what he also gives this team is a guy that really they can rely on, and he looks like he's enjoying that role. In San Diego, there are a lot of other players there, and I think he was getting unhappy, maybe uncomfortable there, but he's happy in Cleveland, and they're going to him a lot.
Well, he's a part of a very balanced attack here. He knows his role. He realizes, I think, how much his efforts have been appreciated by the team, and he's really finding a home for himself.
Chris Pete will put it in play. We're down to 3:35 here in the first. Willen upfield, headed away by Mepham. Now to Karic. Karic over the line. Ketter is back on. So the Wings have killed off the man advantage. Here comes Ketter. Over midfield. Ketter finally getting a chance this year to play after starting the year out in Baltimore. And unable to really crack that lineup. Back for P.J. Johns. So the Wings penalty killers have done their job. And the Crunch cannot get the tying goal. Crunch are back in action tomorrow. Plenty of good seats available against the St. Louis Storm. Sloboy Lievsky, Stan Terlecki lead the Storm in to the Richfield Coliseum tomorrow night. April 1st, April Fool's Day against the Crunch. Here comes Michael King the other way, trying to get the equalizer. King on the fake. It was blocked. Michael King will knock it back the other way. Out to Benny Dargle.
The Wichita Wings missing not only Chico Borja through injury, but Zoran Hunyak, who had come on as of late as a very good goal scorer, was injured in the game last night and appears to be out for the rest of the season.
Injured a knee, so they tell us, is done for the year. Dargle up the right side for Ferguson. Back for Benny Dargle. Can't get around Dale Irvine, and now those two collide. But the whistle had sounded from S.C. Bahamas on the other side of the field. They've got a foul on Benny Dargle. Dale Irvine was saying something to Bill Maxwell, and Maxwell's probably saying, relax, the foul was called.
Have another look at it, just straight from behind. That's what Irvine didn't like about it, as he was taken down hard to the turf. And that AstroTurf doesn't feel good. It'll burn up your skin. So he's going to have a talk to Billy Maxwell, because he'd like to see Dargle discouraged a little more strongly.
Ian Fairbrother out for his first shift of the night. At the back with Willen. DeBrito also out there with Chapman and Irvine. Here's Hagen for the Crunch. On with Hoskevy, Mepham, James, and Ferguson. Won by the Wings. 2:03 to go. First quarter. Wings leading at 1-0. Willen knocking it up for Irvine, knocked away by Ferguson and Mepham. Hoskeby leaving it off now. Hagen joining in the attack to Bernie James. Almost overran it. James will give it up now to Mepham. Mepham leading it towards Hoskeby. Pete came out, cleared it upfield now for Chapman. Lifting it over James. Chapman getting by on the left. Chapman knocked down by Dennis Mepham. A foul is going to be called.
Mepham covered well there. Chapman making some ground on James. James, as we mentioned, not at 100%, particularly in these kinds of situations where it's a straight open field run. Mepham comes over, closes it down. He does bump Chapman in the process, but that's an important play.
Well, even if James is not at 100%, they really could use his leadership out there. He's been out there for the tough games for this franchise and other Cleveland franchises, so he knows what he has to do. And especially at the back, leadership so important. Here's Willen leading it in. Chapman, nice flick. Johns, though, snares that in midair. Right side now to Hagen, and there was a whistle from somewhere.
Chapman interfering with P.J. Johns. Really could have let it play, even though Chapman was right up in the face of P.J. Johns.
Here's Marinaro. Back now to Bernie James. Approaching the 1 minute mark left in the first quarter. Crunch down 1-0. Michael King won it nicely against Willen. He's got a little room. Left-footed shot blocked by Terry Rowe. Taken back by Willen. 3-on-3 coming back. The Wings now 4-on-3. Rowe with a good run down the right side. Willen pokes it to Terry Rowe. Plays it across. Chapman couldn't get that pass. Not a good pass on the part of the Wings. King, scrappy, fighting hard. James took a bump from Willen. And they're going to call that foul on the Wings for holding.
Terry Rowe in there scrapping. Finally did get called for the foul. Some rough work here along the boards. He's bumped a little bit. And the foul ends up going against Rowe. He had held earlier. I think there was just, it's like, who are you to call it on? There's like 3 fouls each way there.
39 seconds left in the first quarter. Cruncher down 1-0. James will send it long. Hoskeby can't get it around. So now in the double team. Hoskeby looking, trying to draw it free or get a foul off the board. Sweeney off Marinaro. I don't know how that didn't go in. I think bad luck on the part of the Crunch.
Marinaro found himself in a good position, and he's got good timing on those kinds of runs. That's why he can score so many goals, but that one didn't bounce his way.
Here's Irvine. Play on, say both officials. Irvine in the corner. Knocking it right back out now to Victor Moreland. Right side, Andy Chapman. Now to Byrne. Off the boards, but Johns is there down to 3 seconds, and Johns will let it go as he throws long to Marinaro. The first quarter ends. So after the first 15 minutes of play, the Crunch find themselves on the short end of a 1-0 game. Andy Chapman, the former player for the Cleveland Force, has the only goal of the game up till this point.
Facsimile. Again, technology is revolutionizing our business environment. Today, information can be delivered within seconds at a cost you can finally afford. Canex, Cleveland's oldest Canon facsimile dealer, can put the power of facsimile to work for you with the plain paper fully featured laser-driven Faxel 920, the plain paper Fax 350, or the personal Fax 120. Have Canex put the power of Canon facsimile in your hand. Call Canex for your free demonstration.
Free food! How much could you cart away in 3 minutes? Find out. Enter the lottery's new shopping spree drawing when you play Pick 3 and Pick 4. You could win 3 minutes to fill as many carts as you can. Just mail in a non-winning Pick 3 ticket and a non-winning Pick 4 ticket purchased since March 1st. Enter as often as you like. We'll draw 5 winners each week. See your lottery sales agent today for details and check it out.
Easy for you to say.
Sports Channel Ohio is the cable home of the Cleveland Indians. All season long, we'll bring you the all-American thrills of the tribe. The Cleveland Indians on Sports Channel Ohio.
Get to know one of the best teams in college basketball. Diggerfeld helps you keep pace with Notre Dame, introducing you to the team and taking you on the hardwood for every matchup. The Digger Felt Show, Mondays at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, exclusively on Sports Channel America. Watch some of the best soccer players compete in one of the oldest soccer leagues in the world. Direct from Great Britain, it's English League Soccer. Rugged and exciting action every week on English League Soccer, only on Sports Channel America. Check your TV listings for days and times.
Welcome back, everyone, to Wichita, Kansas, where the Wings are leading the Cleveland Crunch by the score of 1-0. Andy Chapman has the only goal thus far. I'm John Paul Della Camera, along with Ty Keel. A reminder to stay tuned to Sports Channel Ohio for Cleveland Cavaliers basketball. Tomorrow at 1, the Indiana Pacers will travel to the Coliseum to tip off against the Cavs. Cleveland Cavaliers basketball, and you can see it live right here on Sports Channel Ohio. Another good crowd here in Wichita. This has been one of the true success stories of the MISL, the smallest city really that's ever been in the MISL. And they've had several campaigns where it looked like the franchise could not come back. They had Save the Wings campaigns. Actually, they've led the league in season ticket sales, which is even more amazing when you consider the size of the market compared to some of the other bigger cities in the MISL.
Well, the fans here have been treated to some exciting Wings teams throughout the years. They've always been in the playoffs and done quite well. Tonight, they're in a crucial match with the team that's trying to catch them for that last playoff spot. We see the shots nearly even. The blocks, 5 for Wichita. That means the Crunch have been applying some pressure. The saves, B.J. Johns has done well with 5 saves.
Cleveland had 1 power play, and they did not score on it. The Wings have not had any power plays up to this point.
And they had a shootout attempt. The Crunch did. Zoran Karic was not able to convert it.
Moreland will knock it back to Tom Sohn. We are into the start of the second quarter. Coming up at halftime, some pre-recorded conversations with former Cleveland favorite Andy Chapman and player coach Kai Hoskeby. That's coming up at the end of the first half of play. Right now it's David Byrne with those colorful red shoes. Right side for Rowe. In for Chapman. The backheel pass is blocked by Dargo. Hagen missed. It's loose. Byrne trying to create some magic in the box. Mepham lost it. Byrne shot. Great save. P.J. Johns had to reach behind him.
That's a pure reflex save. He didn't see it till it was nearly past him already, but he was able to react in time.
Good pass from Hagen outside to Dargo, using the entire width of the field. Hit off the referee, Essie Baharmist. Unlucky for the Crunch. Chapman lifting it too long. P.J. Johns rolling right side. Mepham has a lot of room, at least up to midfield. Crunch, though, we're changing up on the fly. Hoskeby coming on. Hagen now will give it up to Mepham. Hoskeby in the corner. Kai looking to turn it right back. Knocks it outside in the neutral zone. It's Sweeney. Mike Sweeney back into Hoskeby. Turnaround shot stopped at the short side by Chris Peet.
I think Hoskeby was really trying to catch the boards there because Hagen was making a strong run to the near post. Had it deflected out in his direction, he'd had a clear shot.
Here's Dale Irvine, 38 goals on the year, knocking it ahead to Ketter. Ketter originally came here to play for the New York Express. Remember them? Right side to Victor Moreland. Looking, lifting, back outside to Irvine. They don't want to give Irvine much room. He can score from 50 feet. He can score beyond. He's going to rock it, especially on that left foot. Coming back. Karic. Broken up. And now it's Tom Sohn. Actually, with Irvine, I've seen him score with blistering shots from both sides. So I'm not sure if people would say he does have a favorite.
Yeah, I was going to say his right foot.
Byrne. That's what I started to think after I said left. But I've seen him score big time with both, and he's really been an improved player. I can remember him in his first year. Now he's a legitimate star in the MISL. Right side for Chapman. 1-0. Cleveland trailing here. Played into Byrne. He missed it. Ferguson helped, though. Little nudge here or there.
Really, I think all the Wichita attacking players are going to have more difficulties with Chico Borja not in there because he is able to draw defenders, hold the ball, and really create space for his teammates. So they have to do more work now for themselves.
Ferguson playing it in. Mardow off the boards. And now it's played back to Chris Peet as Michael King was on the doorstep. Coming back the other way. Here comes Willen. Greg Willen coming through. Blocked by James and a score on the rebound. Dale Irvine. 2-0 Wings.
An unfortunate turn of events for the Crunch, as it looked like it was a stellar defensive play by Bernie James to make the initial block. The loose ball was pounced upon by Dale Irvine. He knows what to do with him with that rifle shot we had just talked about. It's Willen making the run. He's trying to line up a left foot. It's a toe poke. James goes down and actually hits his hand, but it's unintentional. But then P.J. Johns, who's still in a crouched position, trying to react to the first shot by Willen, is not over at the near post when Irvine takes his crack at it. We look at it again. You see James going down to block, and P.J. Johns had gone down as well at that same time. He's not back up in time for Irvine's shot.
So it's 2-0 the Wings, and Irvine has his 39th goal of the year. They give Willen an assist on that one, and that's the 8th goal scored this year by Irvine against Cleveland. Timeout on the floor. There's an official timeout. Cleveland has called it, actually, with 12:01 to go here in the second quarter. Crunch plotting their comeback attempt.
Stand right up for who you are. Stand up right now. Stand up and be counted.
The census is not for welfare.
Stop sign.
It counts for clinics, schools, and jobs.
Don't worry about a mess.
Census time is the time to speak up. Let's make sure we're all counted. Come on, answer the census.
Stand right up for who you are. Stand up.
Wings are leading over the Cleveland Crunch. Your score here is 2-0 in favor of Wichita. Irvine getting the last goal from Willen, his 39th of the season. A reminder that Sports Channel Ohio presents English League Soccer Tuesday, April the 3rd, 10:30 p.m. You can see some of England's oldest football teams competing in one of the toughest leagues around. That's English League Soccer, Tuesday at 10:30 on Sports Channel Ohio. A look at the Wings bench. They're going to be pretty happy that they've got the lead, but as everyone knows, a 2-goal lead in indoor soccer is not necessarily money in the bank. And speaking of a 2-goal lead, Baltimore has that and more. They're leading Kansas City in Baltimore 5-2. The winner of that game has first place all alone in the MISL's Eastern Division. Kansas City has had a great second half here. I'll look at Kai and his teammates. Drew Ferguson, Bernie James, Dennis Mepham. Kai Haskevy this year, 14 goals, 20 assists, 34 points. Already has more goals than he had last year with a Blast. And he's had a lot of injury problems this year. He's not been anywhere near full strength for a good part of the schedule. Marinaro's pass now on the right side to King. Good timeout, though, for Haskevy. They need to talk things over and try and generate something offensively. Get themselves up on the scoreboard. Benny Dargle lifting it. Right side, it's Ketter. If nothing else, Haskevy wants to make sure they don't lose any composure. They've not played a bad game at all, not at all. But they still trail 2-0, and he wants them probably to reinforce that they're still playing some good soccer. Here comes Willen. Willen towing it ahead to Dale Irvine. Sweeney trying to chase him down. Irvine's pass is behind 3 players. Good thing, because if that's a lead pass, it's 3-0. Hagen back to Sweeney. Dangerously played back by Hagen. More so than that last pass to P.J. Johns. 11 minutes to go, second quarter. 2-0. Wings are leading it. John Paul Della Camera along with Ty Keogh here on Sports Channel Ohio, the home of the Crunch this year, the Crunch's first season. Again, we remind you that season tickets for next year's Cleveland Crunch will be going on sale soon. You can expect an announcement within the next couple of weeks, they tell us. David Byrne bringing it back, slowing things down. Giving it up now to Tom Sohn. Across the way to Terry Rowe. Rowe against Hagen. Hagen playing against many of his ex-teammates here. Played in by Byrne. Ketter right across to Dargle. Looks like he saved a goal.
Some good work by the Wichita Wings in being able to crack that defensive shell that the Cleveland Crunch found themselves in. Ketter having some space and time, tried to slot it across. Rowe is there, but Dargle covers him very nicely.
And at that point, with Johns out and Dargle down, that ball really has to go out of play. If it stays in play, someone's got to have a free shot. So you don't like to give up a corner kick, but I think in that situation, the Crunch will take it. But here's where they've got to bear down. Mepham coming on. Some fresh legs now for the Crunch. Marinaro walking off slowly, giving his team a little bit more time to breathe here. A little more rest.
And himself.
Yeah,
because
probably.
he's not been able to train that much due to the problem he's had with that left knee.
Marinaro to the bench of Cleveland on the restart. David Byrne. Played it off the boards. Blocked. In the corner, Hagen. Hagen in the battle. Byrne won it. It deflected, and P.J. Johns had a race after it. I'll tell you what, his head couldn't have been more than an inch from those boards as he made his dive. Dargle now to Mike Sweeney. Sweeney lifting it long. Hoskeby trying to head it down to Hagen. A tough play, but if anybody could make it, it's Hoskeby. Hagen holding it. Looking long. Now for Hoskeby against Moreland. Right across. Mepham again off the glass. Hoskeby. One more timeout for Sweeney. Across the way to Hagen. Hagen looking in for Hoskeby, and that's knocked away. The Wings have really improved things defensively here in the second quarter. I can't recall the last good Crunch chance on goal.
The Crunch trying to work things inside. Hoskeby taking up some good positions in the box of Wichita. This time he was able to take up a good enough one that Moreland had to foul him.
Sweeney holding it. Looking, gives it to Marinaro, but the shot was blocked. That was a good opportunity. Sweeney will get it back. Looking for Karich. It was deflected out by Karich. And so the Wings will put it back in play.
Marinaro's been a little bit unlucky on a few of his shots, particularly from the set pieces. He's been hitting them low, either on target or just inches wide. With any luck, he might have caught a goal tonight.
We talked before about Bernie James and leadership. Victor Moreland provides that and more for the Wichita Wings. He's an intimidator, has always played that style, whether it's been in Tulsa outdoors or with Dallas indoors. One of those guys, if you're going to go to a war, he's the guy you want on your side, not against you.
But also an intelligent player in his use of the ball. He rarely panics in pressure situations, always finds the good pass to the opposite side to get the ball out.
You know how sometimes they say it's tough to get up for every game? I've never seen Victor Moreland show up per game where he wasn't ready to play. And that's a great compliment to give to anybody in any sport. Here's Dale Irvine sending it long for Ketter. Vanderbeck making a run off the ball. It goes back to Morera. Morera just getting his legs back after that serious knee injury. And his legs were really a strong part of his game. He likes to go forward from his defender's role.
He missed nearly 4 months rehabilitating those strained ligaments.
Willen got free for Vanderbeck, and he chipped it just too high. He knew he had Hoskeby right behind him, unless it was blocked.
I thought it was Hoskeby who actually got his foot in before Vanderbeck could shoot, so it'll be a corner kick.
I thought Vanderbeck got it, but had to be Hoskeby coming in from behind on a recovery. And now Hoskeby will go to the bench, and Michael King will come on for the Crunch. Crunch are down 2-0, 8:53 to go here in quarter number 2 in Wichita. Kansas Coliseum fans have been rocked by goals from Chapman and Irvine. Irvine right across and falling down as he tried to shoot. It was Ketter. Willen almost lost it to Ferguson. The Crunch would have been off to the races. Vanderbeck's shot, and it went out of play. Looked like it had been deflected, but apparently not. And P.J. Johns will be able to put that ball back in play for the Crunch. Johns has been in goal for a majority of the games this year for the Crunch. He's 14 wins, 15 losses. His goals against average just under 4 at 3.95. We look at the Crunch bench. Sweeney and Dargle talking things over. And Hoskeby giving himself a breather. When he's out there on the field, Stuart Jump is controlling things as his assistant coach. Joe Raduca also helps out at home games, but on the road, it's Stuart Jump. Bernie James holding it. Looking for some movement upfield. The all-time shot block leader in the MISL gives it back to P.J. Johns. Both Bernie and P.J. played last year for Tacoma. Sent long by Johns. Up for Karich. Knocked back now to Mepham. Down to 8:10 in the second quarter. Crunch looking to get on the board and make something happen. They're down 2-0. Ketter will get it. Wings broken up. Mepham and King help out. Here comes Karich. Ferguson open. Pass was just behind. And the Wings will take it. Karich will get it back. Trying to make a move, and it was blocked. He was double teamed. And Karich, maybe a little frustration. Things not going his way tonight. He may be thinking back to the shootout he missed.
Well, that's part of his frustration. The other part is every time he's starting to turn and beat one player, another one of the wings steps in. Some good team defense, not giving him space to work in.
Byrne upfield. Here's Joey Kirk on his first chip, leaving it out for Irvine. He got free for the moment. The pass blocked by Marinaro. Kirk was open had Irvine been able to deliver it. And I thought he was going to tee it up because he did have some room to do that, but unselfishly he was looking for the guy with a better shot, and that was Kirk. 7:21 to go, second quarter. Wings leading it over the Crunch 2-0. Kirk bothered by Ferguson, who got a kick in at him, and Kirk will, now he's going to leave it. I thought he was going to try the quick restart. Here's Vanderbeek off the boards. Ferguson put it off the glass. We've got a timeout called. Timeout on the floor with 7:12 to go here in the second quarter. Goals by Chapman and Irvine, and the Wichita Wings are leading it by the score of 2-0. You're watching Cleveland Crunch Soccer here on Sports Channel Ohio.
The key to great sports is great sports coverage, and no channel covers Ohio better than Sports Channel Ohio, designed to bring Ohio sports right into your living room. Down to the buzzer, right to the playoff action of the Cavs, the fast-pitching, power-hitting drive of the Indians, the start-to-finish magic of the Crunch, the ongoing hard-driving competition of the Mid-American Conference, and the crowd-pleasing battles of Ohio high school sports. All there, all on one channel, the channel made for Ohio, Sports Channel Ohio. But sports coverage on your channel doesn't stop there. Sports Channel Ohio also brings you the best of the NHL and Notre Dame. All there, all on your channel, Sports Channel Ohio.
Wings are leading the Cleveland Crunch by the score of 2-0 in the second quarter. We have 7:12 remaining in this game. A reminder that coming up tomorrow, it's the next Crunch home game. They'll take on the St. Louis Storm, and that is going to be coming up tomorrow night at 7:05. Great seats are still available for that game. The Storm coming into town. They lost a heartbreaker last night in overtime to Baltimore, and that game ended up 3-2 with Carl Valentine scoring the game winner. Bill Maxwell getting ready to put the ball back in play, and we can get things back underway. A reminder that there's still time to bring your group out and cheer the Crunch on this season. You can call the Crunch Sales Department at 349-2090 in Cleveland, or in Akron, 535-KICK, and bring your group out to a Crunch game and watch some great players like Hector Marinaro, like Kai Hoskevy, Zoran Karic, I'm sorry.
And Bobo Lukic,
who was injured, not playing tonight, expected to be back shortly. Lukic and Simon Keith not making the trip for the Crunch. Wichita leading it by the score of 2-0. Pulling out all the stops in this one. Perhaps Marinaro and James would not play if a playoff berth was not at stake. If mathematically the Crunch were already eliminated, they may not risk anything, but you've got two guys out there that are not near 100%. But every game could be the season here for the Crunch, so they're out there. Played upfield now to Marinaro, to Hoskevy. Headed on the right side now to Dave Hagen. Hagen against Rowe. Hagen still looking for his first goal with the Crunch, although he probably leads the Crunch over the last 5 games in hit goalposts. He's had some tough luck. Has picked up 4 assists, though, with his new teammates. Here comes Rowe, passing it right side to Byrne. Knocked back again to Terry Rowe. An exciting player for the Wings. Terry Rowe makes people stand up and cheer here in Wichita, and has always been a top penalty killer for this club. But now he gets even more carpet time. Hoskevy heading it far side to Marinaro. Pressure on. He tried to find Hoskevy back. Tom Sohn, he can fly. Going through left side, Vanderbeek, and he missed it. Just wide off the far post by inches.
He had B.J. Johns going the other way. Johns trying to cover the near side. The shot across the grain there, I think, could have caught that far side had it been on goal.
Perhaps a little deceptive, too, coming down on the left side, but shooting with the right foot.
Exactly. This game, we've already built it up as being so critical. It also comes down to if these teams would be tied in record in the standings. The next thing is who won the season series, and then also the goal difference in the season series.
Marinaro to King. In the corner they battle. The season series, by the way, is even at 3 apiece, and the goal differential is only 3. So it's been close.
The Crunch do lead the goal differential.
33-30. Here's a deflection, and it goes out of play, and it's going to be Wings' ball. Chris Pete doing a little juggling act there. He will put it in play.
Although I guess at this point you'd have to say the goal differential's down to 1.
That's right.
Yeah.
Chris Pete ready to put it in play. SC Bahamas right with him. A reminder to stay tuned to Sports Channel Ohio for the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Campbell Conference Division semifinals begin on Wednesday, April 4th at 10:30. Wales Conference semifinals begin Thursday, April 5th at 7:30 with a doubleheader. Sports Channel Ohio, the home of the National Hockey League and the Stanley Cup playoffs. And that's always a great time of the year for hockey fans. MISL playoffs coming up soon as well. And the Crunch still trying to get that 4th or that 3rd. I keep saying 4th. That's when they had more teams in the MISL. The 3rd and final playoff spot. Right now in the Eastern Division, positions 1 and 2. Still a dogfight with Baltimore and Kansas City. Chris Pete coming way out. Going long. Now P.J. Johns with it. Up to Zoran Karic. Karic had it stripped away by Morera. Chico Morera coming back over the line, right side of Vanderbeck. Back to Morera, but there was a whistle. And it's going on Wichita, against Wichita.
Some holding off the ball.
Ball played back down to P.J. Johns. Cleveland, even though they trail here 2-0, really have played a good game. They've made only 2 mistakes, and they've really cost them.
Both goals, if you look at them, came in a situation where a Wichita defender was allowed to come a large distance across the midfield. So that makes you think there's not necessarily a problem with the Crunch's defenders, but there's some kind of problem in the transition game of the midfielders and the forwards in getting back and clogging up that type of a lane where a defender could run through.
Irvine coming through, but Johns is right there to get in the way of that. And here's Dennis Mepham. Mepham coming back, an MISL veteran. Played with Buffalo and Cleveland earlier in the MISL. Now back in Cleveland with a Crunch. Right side pass, Karic. Picked up by Morera. He'll send it back outside to Drew Ferguson. Ferguson was looking for King. Couldn't thread the needle with that pass, and back the other way. This is David Byrne. Less than 4 minutes to go. 3-on-2, right side, Irvine. He buries it.
When Irvine winds up, look out, and he doesn't need a good angle, as we've seen on both of his goals tonight, because he rips them. A lot of velocity behind him. Another break by the Wings through the midfield. Byrne had stolen the ball at his own red line, was able to draw Marinaro. Marinaro guessed on the pass, trying to intercept it. You'll see Marinaro's beaten by the pass on the opposite side from where he expected it. He thought he'd be able to cut it out. And Irvine just puts it away from the near side with that big right foot. There's Byrne. You see Marinaro guessing, trying to guess where that pass was going to be slotted through. He guessed wrong. Byrne put it on the other side of him, and Irvine finished it off.
And your point was well taken before. You were talking about the Crunch getting beaten in the transition game, and that was the 3rd example of it tonight. So this is like the first time these two clubs met in terms of a team leading it by as many as 3 goals, although the Crunch took their lead much earlier in the game. Up for Marinaro. Can't get free. Wings. Chapman and Sweeney, no doubt about it. Fouling Andy Chapman. A reminder coming up at halftime, pre-recorded interviews with Andy Chapman and Kai Haskeby. So we hope you stick around for that. We also have the schedules, the remaining schedules for both of these teams, the Wings and the Crunch, and you can see for yourself who's got the tougher schedule. Here's Charlie Green coming out. His first shift, and he paid for that. Terry Rowe knocked him down. Now it's Hagen coming back. Crunch trailing it. They could use one before the half. Hagen's pass is blocked, and it goes out of play. Irvine's goal was his 40th goal of the year and his 9th goal this year against Cleveland. So he almost has had a 4th of his goals, or a 10th of his goals, against the Crunch this year. No, wait a minute, I was right the first time. Boy, math was terrible.
Yeah, the 10th wouldn't mean much.
Yeah.
Charlie Green taking the inside track, and I think Rowe played it fairly. He stepped in front and had won the ball, and it's screened. It piles into him, but the call goes the other way. You'll take him when you can get him.
I'm going to stay off the mat. Irvine, 1/4 of his goals nearly against the Crunch this year. Sweeney lets it go now to Marinaro off those boards. He'll get it back. Hector's shot, a nice save for Chris Peet. That's the first time, though, Pete's been tested in several minutes. That makes it even more of a big save. Dargle intercepts. A low shot, save again, Chris Peet. And he's a little angry with Hagen. Pete feels he had that ball stopped, and then Hagen tried to do some cosmetic surgery.
Hagen just doing his job. I mean, that's a close play. You'll see Dargle hits a low screamer through some traffic. Pete can't quite hold it. It's loose momentarily. Hagen just going after it. He can't stop that quickly when he sees that Pete finally does hold it.
Chris Peet brings it out, and all of a sudden Chris Peet has had to do some things there where he hasn't had to work much the last several minutes. Here's Irvine. Irvine, a right-footed rocket.
Now that's a scorcher there.
Crunch fans breathing a little easier right now after that one. That could have been 4-0. Marinaro's pass, that's knocked away. Ketter on the block. It comes back to Hagen. Hagen coming back now for the Crunch. Couldn't get free. Sweeney will keep it alive. Left foots it in. The turnaround shot for Marinaro, and it's blocked in front. David Byrne got a piece of that. Byrne trying to get by Charlie Green. They both disappear. Green called for holding. Byrne with a great quick restart to Tom Sohn. Sweeney missed on the tackle. Irvine chipping it wide of Ketter. Knocked back out though to David Byrne. He cuts it well to Ketter. 1:45 to go. First half. Here's Ketter. And the Wings lead at 3-0. Deflected out to Moreland. Now back for Ketter. Chris Peet, long way to run, but he's got it. Against him is Marinaro. Played up to Rowe. And now to Moreland. Lifted long. Johns looking. Think he thought Dargle was going to get it. Dargle thought PJ would. Here's Willen. Cuts it back to Byrne. A rifle shot. It was just wide, not by much. Blocked. Wings will still take it as it's Byrne. Koziel on for his first shift, and Joey Koziel takes it. Well, we've got a foul called on the Crunch. Mike Sweeney doesn't like the call. Terry Rowe will be putting it in play. Wings have a 3-0 lead. Approaching halftime, 1:10 to go.
And again, the Crunch have been just a little bit unlucky going back to the last shot by Marinaro on the quick turn. Many times those will go.
And as Willen broke through, there was a holding call going the other way.
Chapman holding Benny Dargle away from the play. But right now, the Crunch with 1:01 remaining, really playing in desperation to try and get on that scoreboard before they go in at halftime.
And you get the feeling that much like last week, if they could get one, they could turn something around here. Chris Peet will head it out. Peet has won his last 2 starts. Here's a quick shot, a save from Peet. Koziel, and he put it upstairs, but a good effort by the rookie. He put 2 chances toward goal, and one of them should have been a goal.
Chris Peet looking very sharp on that last save. He showed again that he's really keyed up for this game. He's well aware of how critical this matchup is in terms of that last playoff spot in the Eastern Division.
Chris Peet will be ready to put it in play with some help perhaps from Morera. Coming up at halftime, you get a chance to hear Kai Hoskeby talk about the Cleveland Crunch, and Andy Chapman be along as well. It's a pre-recorded interview, so we hope you'll stick around for that. That's coming up at the half, and the half is 30 seconds away. Willen on the outside. A 3-0 lead here for the Wings. Vanderbeck plays it back to Morera. Looking long, Ferguson. He and Koziel, if they both missed it, Chapman walks in on P.J. Johns. With 15 seconds to go before the half, that's not what Cleveland wants. Willen will get free, 8 seconds left. Carrots has to track him to Chapman. Blocked by Carrots. P.J. Johns comes out. Got a bump there from Rowe. Now it's King as the horn sounds. Ending play. And P.J. Johns was not happy. He was glaring at Terry Rowe and then decides to just walk back to the locker room and not get himself into any kind of hot water. So the half ends, and Wichita puts their mark on this first half of play. P.J. Johns talking now to the referee. He figures that's the better thing to do rather than take matters into his own hands. 3-0 at the end of the first half of play. The Wichita Wings on a couple of goals from Irvine and Chapman and they have the lead. Kai Hoskeby up next when we come back to Wichita.
Turn on Sports Channel America any night of the week for exciting sports.
On comes Bullard on a breakaway. Let's shoot, score! Moving into the circle, Simon and Graham for Thomas. He scores! Tic-tac-toe!
Nobody delivers the NHL like we do, with more than 100 hard-hitting contests straight through to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Bennett's gonna have to hurry.
Keep this with the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame as they challenge top college teams across the nation. Climb into the ring every week with the Sports Channel Pro Boxing Tour. It's a knockout. Feel the fever of high school sports with the National Federation Game of the Week. Sports Nightly keeps you up to date with the latest scores, highlights, and news before and after every event. Plus, men's and women's college basketball, the Los Angeles and Boston Marathon, pro tennis, English League soccer, international amateur events, and more. Turn on Sports Channel America for exciting sports.
What's that?
It's a new lottery instant bowling ticket, Dad.
Everything's got to be instant these days. So how much did you win?
I don't know yet. I got 3 chances.
Everybody's got to have 3 of everything today. One's never enough.
I know.
Used to be that
Pop.
people... Huh?
Just won $1,000. And I still got my bowling discount to scratch off, huh?
Got another one of those?
No.
He's buying.
Facsimile. Again, technology is revolutionizing our business environment. Today, information can be delivered within seconds at a cost you can finally afford. Canex, Cleveland's oldest Canon facsimile dealer, can put the power of facsimile to work for you with the plain paper fully featured laser-driven Faxel 920, the plain paper Fax 350 with the personal Fax 120. Have Canex put the power of Canon facsimile in your hands. Call Canex for your free demonstration.
Welcome back, everyone, to halftime. I'm John Paul Della Camera. It's a 3-0 lead for the Wichita Wings over the Cleveland Crunch. 2 goals by Dale Irvine and 1 goal by Andy Chapman for the Wichita Wings, and that's where we stand at the end of the first 30 minutes of play. So the Crunch, trying to get that last playoff spot against the Wichita Wings, know that this is an important game for them, and they still have another half to try and get themselves back into it. And speaking of getting things back into it, Kai Hoskeby knows that that's an important part of his job as he prepares the Crunch for the stretch drive. Ty Keogh talked to Kai before the game.
Kai, the Cleveland Crunch have come to the part of the season where they really can't afford to make any mistakes. They need to come through with the results, and they also have to rely perhaps on the teams that they're involved in the divisional race to stumble.
Well, you know, our playoffs started already a couple of weeks ago. We've been right there on the edge for the last 6 games or so. So we're used to playing do or die type of situation, and we've done well lately.
You have to feel a little more confident about the way the team has been playing, the way they've been approaching their opponents.
Well, you know, a couple of weeks ago, everybody wrote us off. They said we really didn't have much of a chance, and we put a pretty good thing together lately, and Wichita stumbled a little bit. So it's given us a little light, and tonight's game is the biggest game of the season. If we can win tonight, gives us a good chance to, be right behind them. If we lose tonight, then we'll have to win all last 8 just to have a chance. So it's a big one.
This part of the season also something as far as you're concerned as being the coach, taking a look at players, also thinking about how you're going to develop the team down the road.
Exactly. I think we've got a pretty good, I feel we have a good nucleus for a team, a good foundation that we can build on. Yeah, there'll be some changes, but at the same time, it's times like this, tough times, that you find out who are the guys that still come to play, and we'll keep our eyes open and make our selections after the season's over.
Some positive indications from the front office, from the owner of the team, George Hoffman, as well, about the future of the Cleveland Crunch.
Well, George is dedicated to the Northeast Ohio, and he wants to see soccer continue, and obviously he wants to see it be successful, and that's something that we all work towards the same goal.
Now, you've tried to put together an attacking team. You've been a part of that attack. Injuries have been a problem, but guys have come back at the right time.
Well, tonight we're fortunate to have Bernie James and Hector Marinaro back. They're a very big part of our club, and it's something that we need everybody to be successful, and then hopefully they can give us a bit of a lift tonight.
How about trades? They've been a big part, I think, of the turnaround in terms of the team's approach to their opposition.
Well, I think we're fortunate that the 2 players that we're able to get have been very, very good for us. I mean, you hate to see guys like Paul Wright and Patsamore Heddy go, because they were a big part of our club. But to get quality players, you have to give quality players, and it's something that we felt those guys were able to help us, and they've done a tremendous job. And now, if we can just all build on that, I think we'll be a better team.
And the Crunch have quite a few things planned as well coming up once the season is over in terms of their connections with the community in Northeastern Ohio.
Well, I think everybody knows that Crunch is very involved in the community, and not only are we working in the community, but in June, Crunch will have their own soccer camps, and I'm going to have my camps in July and August, and stay involved with the Crunch and with the young soccer players in the Northeast Ohio.
The Richfield Coliseum, it's been a great place to play. You have to look forward to the seasons to come.
Well, it's something that it's one of the best facilities in the country, and it's something that we've been fortunate enough to play there, and the type of fans we've got behind are very local, and lately we've been a very tough team to beat there, so we're looking forward to some good times at Richfield.
Very good, Kai Hoskevik. We thank you very much. We wish you the best of luck in what remains of this playoff stretch drive for the Cleveland Crunch.
Well, we hope that there are some good times in this second half as well, as the Crunch find themselves on the short end of a 3-0 score. A couple of goals by Irvine and one by Andy Chapman. We'll also be speaking with Andy Chapman in just a few moments. So it's the Crunch down by 3 at the half.
Hi, this is Pete McDonald inviting you to join me right here each week on Great Lakes Boater.
Who put the Ford in affordable? Spitzer, that's who. Get a brand new 90 Ranger XLT pickup with lots of extra equipment, or a new 90 Mustang LX with power windows, power door locks, power mirrors, AM/FM stereo cassette, and more. Take your pick for an amazing 8888. We have brand new 90 conversion vans with everything you've always wanted in a van for less, only $14,950. We put the Ford in affordable at Spitzer Ford in Mentor and in Cuyahoga Falls.
The stiletto, outlawed in most major cities. The trench knife. It boasts a 7-inch solid steel blade. The survival knife, designed to cut through virtually anything. Yet the most dangerous knife of all may be the one we use to eat too much high-fat food, the ordinary table knife. For a free booklet on how to help reduce your risk of cancer and heart disease through low-fat eating, call 1-800-EAT-LEAN.
This company needs quick decisions. So does yours. This company needs leaders. So does yours. This company needs well-trained people. So does yours. So when this company needs to borrow people from your company,
come on, man, move it out. Let's go, let's go.
Remember, they'll always come back better than they were before.
Hey, Bill, could we get your approval on this?
Be a hero. Give your employees the freedom to protect ours.
We are back in Wichita where the Wings lead the Cleveland Crunch by the score of 3-0. The goal scores Dale Irvine has a couple and Andy Chapman has one. For Chapman, it was his 20th goal of the season and his 6th this year against the Cleveland Crunch. And earlier in the day, in fact, right before kickoff, Andy Chapman was spoken to by Ty Keogh. Here's how that interview went.
Andy Chapman, a familiar face to fans in Northern Ohio, had a couple highly successful years back in Cleveland, and now you're playing for Wichita, and you're in the middle of a death struggle, really, for a playoff position with the Cleveland Crunch.
Well, yeah, you're right. I did spend 2 very enjoyable seasons up there, and very fond memories, and it seems strange to be back here playing against Cleveland, and we're fighting it out for this last playoff position. We seem to be in a little bit of a stronger position, but as you know, in this game, with a couple of losses, you can be in a lot of trouble.
Some former teammates, some good friends that you're up against in these games as well.
Benny Dargle and Kai Hoskevik, former teammates, and Bernie James, of course, who is a good friend and a very hard competitor. Sweeney, all these guys, I look forward, not just seeing them, but I look forward to playing against them because they're a great bunch of guys.
When it really comes down to it, though, you've spent the majority of your career in the MISL with these Wichita Wings, these great crowds here. You've always been a crowd favorite and a consistent scorer. Now it's come to the part of your career where you really are a team leader with the experience that you have.
Well, after being in this league for so long, I can't believe how quick it's gone. Suddenly you were a young boy playing in the league, and suddenly you're an old man. And if they look to me for leadership, then I just hope that I can provide it. This is an important time of the year, and I enjoy playing in crunch games, and this is what it's all about. When it gets down to the last few games of the season and the playoffs, this is the best time of year.
Do you take that responsibility upon yourself as a more experienced player to help perhaps the entire team, especially the younger players, approach games of this magnitude?
Not really. I've just always enjoyed them. It's something that comes from within, and if by going out there and that they can see that you're pumped for these games, if this helps them, then fine. But I try not to put pressure on the young guys. I just try to lead by example and take care of my own game. If you're busy trying to tell other people what to do, it can take away from your own game. And I just try and concentrate on what I can do best, and hopefully this helps the players around you.
Scoring is something you've always done extremely well, but I've seen that you're taking on a little bit different role in the team as you've been here for several years.
Yeah, I seem to be getting up there with the assists, which is not normally a part of my game, but I think as the league has progressed and it's become more defensive, and you build a reputation for yourself, it's very difficult to go out there and score on a regular basis. So I tend to find myself creating a lot of chances for other members, not with assists, but sometimes you're creating spaces for the younger guys, because the defenders are more inclined to watch you than a new guy that's playing. And if that helps the team in any way, then I don't mind. As long as we're winning, I really don't mind whether I'm scoring or not, or getting assists or not. I think when you look back on the season, it's better to look back saying that you played in the championship rather than you scored X amount of points and your team never made the playoffs.
Andy, we thank you. It's great to see you still out there doing the job, and it should be a great game and a great series going down the line here this season. Andy Chapman, thank you very much.
400 games with the Wichita Wings. Wings lead it over Cleveland 3-0 at the half.
Did you know there are more boats and boating around the Great Lakes area than just about anywhere else? I'm Jerry Winder, host for a program called Great Lakes Boat Listing. Now, here's what it's all about. Boating information. Interviews with interesting people. Special events around the Great Lakes area. And, of course, boat listing. So we invite you to watch Great Lakes Boat Listing. It's all about boats and boating around the Great Lakes area. A regular weekly feature right here.
Tomorrow's the day. Spitzer Chevy's the place for unbeatable deals on brand new 90 conversion vans, Astros or full size, fully equipped and completely customized. Your choice, $15,995. If you can find a better deal, buy it. That goes for our brand new 90 Corsicas and Berettas too. They're equipped with automatic transmission, air conditioning, AM/FM stereo, and lots of other great features. Your choice, $99.95. Tomorrow at Spitzer Chevy in Northfield, North Canton, and Grafton.
All right, let's see. My taxes, income tax. For some people, doing their basic tax forms by themselves can make them feel like they're climbing the walls.
My full name is, I remember that, Dependence.
If you need help, free tax help is available from IRS-trained volunteers. Find them by calling 1-800-424-1040. They'll make your taxes less taxing.
I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright, blessed day, the dark, sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
If you're not recycling, you're throwing it all away.
Welcome back, everyone. We are here at halftime where the Wichita Wings are leading it by the score of 3-0 over the Cleveland Crunch. John Paul De La Camera with Ty Keel. The numbers there, Ty, look great for Wichita, but when you look at all the other numbers, it's pretty even.
The Crunch have actually outshot the Wichita Wings, and that really gives me the interpretation. The Crunch have not played that poorly. It's just that the Wichita Wings have played so well defensively, have really made it difficult for Cleveland to convert on their chances. The blocks there, the Wings you see, have come up with 7 different blocks, so that's part of the problem for the Cleveland Crunch.
We talked about upcoming games for the Crunch and the Wings. We're going to take a look at the schedules down the stretch drive for both of these teams. This is the Wings schedule. That's not an easy one. They've got to go to San Diego twice. They've got to go to Cleveland, and that's another must-win game for Cleveland. And when they're at home, they're playing the hot Kansas City Comets. When you look at the Crunch schedule, that's no bargain either, but a majority of those games are at home, and that has to be a plus for Cleveland.
The home game helps, and I think the big thing for Wichita, you mentioned San Diego. San Diego's in a real tough battle over in the Western Division, so they're going to be fighting tooth and nail for each one of those games, and Wichita may have a tough time of it. Hopefully the Crunch can come on a little bit more strongly even than they have and make the best of that situation.
So it promises to be an exciting finish, and really what this game does, if the Crunch lose this game, it does not eliminate them from the playoffs. What it does, it makes that hill even harder to climb. The hill becomes a mountain of sorts.
Well, it puts their back straight up against the wall. Right now they've still got a little space to maneuver, but would seriously curtail that.
P.J. Johns loosening up. He had to loosen himself up early in this game, made some great saves early in the game when it was scoreless, in fact. But the 3 goals, to refresh your memory a little bit, as Kai Haskavy talks it over along that bench, really were on transition goals. They got burnt when defenders came through and set things up. Here's Mike Sweeney. Let's see how the Crunch come out to start the second half. A goal could change things here if Cleveland gets it, but they can't afford to give up many more without having people remember that Dallas game. This is nowhere near that kind of a game. That game, Dallas just simply outplayed Cleveland badly and won at 8-0. The Crunch were never in it. This has been totally different, but the Crunch are down by 3. Tom Sohn with a pass upfield. David Byrne bringing it back, knocking it for Terry Rowe. Terry Rowe holding it.
Byrne, an important trade for this Wichita team. They brought him over when they sent Stankovic and Peter Ward over to Baltimore, and he's added something, I think, to this entire team, in that he's a good playmaker and a good scorer.
Well, they told me before the game that Terry Nickel gives him a lot more room to do things. He allows him to use his creativity, and David Byrne has always had a flair about him. He has always been a gifted player, and whether he plays as a second forward or as a first forward, or whether he drops back in the midfield, I think the more space he has, the more dangerous he can be.
He needs that freedom to create, because he can come up with some very dangerous forays through the opposition's defense.
Hagen, in a battle along the boards, draws the foul on Rowe. Rowe and Moreland were there in the double team. We're almost a minute in to the 3rd quarter. Crunch still looking for their first score. A goal that could turn things around for them, hopefully as it did last week against Tacoma. Mike Sweeney lets it go for Marinaro with a pass to King, and as he tried to knock it off the glass, it went too high. An inch here and an inch there, and that's really what the Crunch have been off in this game. They're down 3-0. Dale Irvine has a couple of goals, his 39th at 40th, and really the Crunch killers this year have been Irvine with now 9 goals against Cleveland, and Chapman, who's now had 6. On the restart, the free kick will be Victor Moreland's. Moreland, the 32-year-old, sends it long. Here comes Rowe getting through, and luckily Terry Rowe gets underneath it too much, but that starts all the way down the other end for Moreland. So that's a situation, if they score there, that's completely unlike the previous 3 goals.
Well, that shows you how quickly the action can move from one end to the other as Moreland just blasted the ball, but Chapman did very well to put it into the path of Terry Rowe. Good support by Rowe to come up and get behind that knockdown pass by Chapman.
Yeah, that's not the way you'd want to start the quarter if you're the Crunch, giving one up like that. Baltimore has defeated Kansas City 6-3 in Baltimore.
And they were expecting another sellout, 4th of the year, for that game in Baltimore.
Lead pass by Sohn to Chapman, who backed into Bernie James. James is not going to let him get by, but here's Rowe with some help. Right side, nice switch to Byrne. 3-0 Wings are leading it here. 13:23 to go in the 3rd. They tried to give and go to Byrne, but Chapman didn't deliver the pass well. Byrne battling along the boards. Karich will take it. Has it knocked away to Chapman, and then Karich was taken down by Byrne, and there was no foul initially, and then I think Byrne gave it a little extra, and then Karich went down. But originally, I don't think they were going to call that. Haskavy will put it in play now to Ferguson. Crunch, even though they've had 14 shots to 12 after the half, have not had the better chances. Johns is coming out, won the battle, but almost lost the war there. Off a deflection, here comes Irvine, blocked by Ferguson. Toe poke toward Ketter, but Haskavy is there. Lead pass, he was going for broke to Karich. Morera stepped in and won it. Cruncher back in that familiar position of defending now, and Morera slices it into the crowd. 12:42 to go here in the third quarter, but the Crunch not starting out well offensively, and instead have had to really defend for a majority of the first couple minutes, 2.5 minutes or so.
Not much design to their play when they have the ball. They're really succumbing to the pressure that Wichita has been applying, and Wichita, as I mentioned, really deserves credit here. Cleveland has played a decent game and tried to work some good things, but Wichita won't give them an inch to breathe.
Dennis Mepham. How's Cleveland going to be able to find that space?
Well, it may take some individual efforts. Hector Marinaro or a Kai Haskavy, or Zoran Karich especially. A good individual move, a one-on-one situation where they're able to eliminate a player or two.
Charlie Green on the right side. Yeah, it's a great performance for the Wings when you consider Borjas not playing. Mike Fox has been bothered by the flu, although he did dress for the game. He's not taken a single shift. And this is a team that had to be frustrated last night, outplaying the Comets and losing it. They outshot Kansas City 45-19 and could not come away with a win because one of their ex-great goalkeepers, Mike Dowler, simply stoned them. Had a great performance last night in Kansas City in front of better than 13,000. They're seeing some good crowds now throughout the league. Kansas City 13. Baltimore's had a couple of sellouts of late. San Diego had better than 8 in their game. A win against Dallas.
We're going to have to be watching to see here whether Wichita does perhaps start to fade and not be able to keep up the kind of pressure that's been effective for them. They played just last night. I don't know if they can keep it going.
Vanderbeck will head it out of play. That's a good point, and that's what we were talking about last week against Tacoma. You know, if you've got the lead, if it's 3-0 and things are going your way, you're not even thinking about being tired. But if you give up one, or in last week's case, a couple fairly quickly, you can start remembering the game 24 hours ago real quick. But that's easier said than done, and right now the Crunch still need one. They've been unable to get by Chris Peak. Here's Marinaro into Karich, trying to give it back, and it's wide. Kept in by Karich, and I'll tell you, that's a bad bounce for Marinaro. Anywhere a foot closer either side, he's probably going to be able to turn around and shoot with either foot. Right side it goes. Willen. Pass is deflected up by James. Deflected back, and Bernie got back in a hurry. James now will slow it down for Cleveland. Wings not putting on any pressure here. Marinaro with 11:35 to play, third quarter. His team down 3-0. Karich, good job to receive it. Played it back to Marinaro. Irvine trying to pick him up. Here's Marinaro getting free on the boards. Hector Marinaro, here's a chance for the Crunch. Marinaro drills a right footer, he scores! Hector Marinaro, there's that individual effort that you were speaking about moments ago.
And also good work by the Crunch to really sniff that ball out at midfield and work it out to Marinaro. And Marinaro, a quick low shot, the quick release is enough, but it's a first-class move he puts on initially to make the space for himself to get in the open for the shot. So Marinaro was unlucky in the first half, if you remember, 2, 3, 4 times. This time hits the target. It's an important goal, as you mentioned. They may start to second-guess themselves, the Wichita Wings, at this point.
Marinaro's first goal of the night, but he's a familiar goal scorer. He's had 31 this year. The Crunch are back in it. They trail 3-1.
Hector Marinaro is a goal scorer, and this one's a critical one. He's able to take Willen inside. He beats him cleanly. He's got a full step. He's got a shooting lane, and he cracks it low and hard. Chris Pete not able to get down in time. but the key there is to get it on target, down low. Marinaro really strikes the ball so well. Tonight he's already hit the post and put a couple just wide. Through a little bit of traffic as Ketter tried to get a foot in there, but Pete was beaten cleanly down to his left side.
Mike Sweeney draws the assist on the Marinaro goal, his 31st of the year at 3:41 of the third quarter, and I'll be most interested now to see what the next 5 minutes looks like for both teams. See what Cleveland can do. Can they pick it up like they did last week against Tacoma? We're going to find out, and I think you'll see it momentarily.
Well, they need to make use of the momentum that's there for them to take. And for the Wings, will they have some self-doubt? Will they start thinking, as you said, about that tough loss that they had last night?
Moreland sending it long for Chapman. Dargle got a piece of that. Hagen gets the rest. Koziel, nice job to reverse it. Not a good pass, but a good idea, and Hagen will come away with it. Hagen just snuck by to the left wing against Moreland. He made him pay for it there. Along the boards, Chapman trying to clear it out. It's 3-1, Cruncher down by a couple. Marinaro had a streak going. He had scored a goal, at least a goal in 4 straight games before he missed 2. He had 6 goals during that time, and he comes back none the worse for wear, or so it seems, and he scores here. Sohn got it by Hagen. Hit off the referee, Bill Maxwell. That saved Benny Dargle several steps. Dargle's pass now ahead for Hoskeby with his back to goal against Moreland. Nice turnover move. Hoskeby tried to play it back, blocked by Rowe. Played back to Chris Pete, who calls off Moreland and Sohn. Throwing it long for Byrne. Ferguson trying to cut it off. He'll give up possession as he cleared it out. Last year, that's a penalty. This year, it is not.
Ferguson covering well there, really, as Cleveland Crunch were in a bad situation. Byrne streaking down that left side, had a lot of space out in front of him, and Ferguson doesn't come all the way over from the opposite side. Byrne's coming straight in on P.J. Johns.
This is still a dangerous situation, but I like this rule this year because they never called them last year. Last year, everybody in the stands knew it. It was kicked out deliberately, but very seldom called for the amount of times it was committed. Here's Byrne. Couple of fakes, and he's going to shoot it. Blocked by Marinaro, former teammate of Burns with Minnesota. What a team Minnesota had when those guys were together. Mike Sweeney and Alan Willie. Here's Marinaro showing you some of that.
What an
effort.
exhibition there of skill.
And a pass to Hagen is a good one. Hagen back Marinaro. Great block. Tom Sohn, I believe, saves a goal. Marinaro was walking in with some speed. Here's Ferguson drilling it. That's blocked. But Cleveland has obviously picked up in confidence.
The spark is there, and Marinaro would have earned that goal if for nothing else. That tremendous display of ball skills and control under pressure that he had at midfield before he played that first pass in.
9:38 to go, third quarter. Crunch are within a couple now at 3-1. Within some striking distance now. Intended for Marinaro. Hector may get it yet. Well, he gets it there, but it's a foul from Byrne. And ex-teammate or not, they're not teammates now, so they'll punish each other. Right side, here's Michael King. Nice cut. A left-footed shot off Marinaro, but right to Chris Pete.
Just hit him, really. I don't think he had a chance to even adjust his position to try and redirect that into goal.
Here's Irvine. Coming back. Cutting it against Karich, left side to Perry Vanderbeek. On his right foot, it's blocked. And just wide enough as P.J. Johns got a piece. Luckily, it didn't get deflected the other way towards the middle because Johns had already committed right.
Well, we're seeing some life in the Cleveland Crunch, attacking with renewed vigor.
Here comes Karich. Blocked by Ketter. Former teammates in San Diego. They force a bad pass back from Vanderbeek, but Morera will clear it out of danger, and it will land in the seats out of play. But the Crunch showing signs of life, coming back. The confidence level is there. You need to get that goal. When you're being shut out, especially on the road, it can become a bit of a mental strain on you. And once you get that first one, it's great.
Exactly, and it becomes a mental strain, too, when you see a goalkeeper like Chris Pete having a real good night. You wonder if it's just one of those nights that you're not going to get one past him.
Chico Morera will send it long. Off Sweeney and Ketter. Neither one knew where the ball was. Up for Hoskeby. He has Karich open, but he didn't have control of the ball, and Morera made a nice play.
Morera's really had a fine game tonight, making key plays just like that one.
They've missed him. You can't replace him for 24 games like that. Good defender, solid player. Here's Hoskeby's pass. Vanderbeek cut that off. It's loose in the neutral zone. Willen blocked by Hoskeby. Kai Hoskeby running it down the right side. Karich is with him. Hoskeby, the stutter step off the boards. It's loose, and then there's Chris Pete. Hoskeby was using the angle, and it looked like he wanted Karich
He was on target, though, too, with that shot, and he may have gotten the idea to fool Chris Pete with a quick near-post shot. Goalkeepers a lot of times are reading the pass at that point.
Here comes Vanderbeck. Right side to Morera. 3-1 Wichita. Rowe trying to make it 4-1 with that quick shot on P.J. Johns. Here comes Cleveland. Green couldn't handle it. Had he been able to, Karich was open on the left wing side. Zoran Karich now to Marinaro. Green open on the left wing. Marinaro holding it, looking to see what the defense is giving him. Now he gives it up to Bernie James. 7:26 to go in the third. Crunch within a couple of goals. They're down 3-1. Marinaro, who has scored the only Cleveland goal for Charlie Green. Right back out to Bernie James. He cuts it well. Charlie Green's shot blocked at the short side. Green will get it back. Green, good pass out on the right side to Ferguson. He'll give it up to Bernie James on the left. Ketter trying to deny him some space. James will give it back out now to Ferguson. Less than 7 to go in the third. 3-1 Wichita. Charlie Green blocked by Ketter. James going in and blocked it. It comes back and Green hustles back in case Ketter had gotten free. Ketter goes off on a line change. Green now is tied up effectively enough by Rowe that there was a foul call for holding. A look at Terry Rowe, a speedy player. This has been the only team that he has played for since coming over from England. Coming back the other way, and Karich was upended, and as he got up, he looked like he wanted to get after Rowe, and Essie Bahamas.
Well, Rowe got a pretty good piece of him. And some quick footwork split the two wings defenders, including Rowe. Rowe took a late swipe. You'll see it here. He just steps through two of them. That's some nice footwork using the sole of his foot. He's by. Rowe tangles him up and whacks him from behind. And Karich jumps up and is looking for him. Essie Bahamas, the official, stepped between them.
Here's David Byrne coming back the other way. Oh, that's hockey. That's the NHL. That's a check into the boards on Green.
And Karich is right over there. He's saying, well, what about Rowe? Just took me out. What's the difference there? And I guess really what the difference is the boards are involved here. Green comes in. He's trying to get a piece of the ball. He steps in with the hip, the leg, the shoulder, the whole thing. And he piles Byrne into the boards. That's a close call because he does play the ball. If the boards are not there, you've got a simple foul at the worst.
It's the sound of the boards that helps to draw the penalty on Charlie Green. 3-1. Wichita Wings are leading over the Cleveland Crunch, and the Wings will have a power play when we come back. You're watching Cleveland Crunch Soccer right here on Sports Channel Ohio.
The key to great sports is great sports coverage, and no channel covers Ohio better than Sports Channel Ohio, designed to bring Ohio sports right into your living room. Down to the buzzer, right to the playoff action of the Cavs, the fast-pitching, power-hitting drive of the Indians, the start-to-finish magic of the Crunch, the ongoing hard-driving competition of the Mid-American Conference, and the crowd-pleasing battles of Ohio high school sports. All there, all on one channel, the channel made for Ohio, Sports Channel Ohio. But sports coverage on your channel doesn't stop there. Sports Channel Ohio also brings you the best of the NHL and Notre Dame. All there, all on your channel, Sports Channel Ohio.
Charlie Green sits out 2 minutes for boarding as the Wings lead it over the Crunch by the score of 3-1. Wings will have a power play coming up. A reminder that Sports Channel Ohio is the cable home of the Cleveland Indians. Catch the Tribe on Wednesday, April 11th at 7:30 when the New York Yankees take on the Indians. The Cleveland Indians live on Sports Channel Ohio.
You've got to look at this as something that could be pivotal in terms of the outcome of the game, whether or not the Crunch can weather this power play.
You know what I said before about Green? It was an NHL-type check. Charlie grew up playing hockey, actually, but the boards obviously hurt him there. If he does that in the middle of the field, it's just a foul, but you're always going to get that call against the boards. Here's Morera. Lifting it. Willen. Lifting it wide. Wings are 7th in the MISL in terms of the power plays. This is cleared out by James. Only Dallas is lower than them on the man advantage, and the Crunch have the best penalty killing in the MISL. They have had it for really the entire year. Power play on the restart. Morera will be putting it back in play. 18 seconds are gone on the man advantage. Wings will be looking to put it back into play. Here's where they miss Borja as well. They really miss Borja in every facet of their game. Willen, left footer, and that's going way upstairs. Hold on to your refreshments. 3-1. Crunch are trailing the Wichita Wings. A reminder that the Crunch are happy to announce that their National Citibank Cleveland Crunch summer camps will begin this June. Boys and girls can learn from Kai Hoskevy, Benny Dargle, Mike Sweeney, and other Crunch players and coaches. For Crunch Camp Soccer information in Cleveland, you can call 349-2090 or an Akron at 535-KICK. Those are the camps in June. Kai Hoskevy also has some of his camps of his own that will be later on in July and August. And to learn more about those particular camps of Kai Hoskevy's, you can use those same Cleveland Crunch phone numbers. So it seems like the players are going to be very busy during the offseason. Here's Marinaro getting it shorthanded. Hector along the boards, nowhere to go. A Marinaro sandwich in between Byrne and Willen. Great work right there from Dennis Mepham. 119 on the power play. Hoskevy told me earlier in the day that he feels that they're so strong penalty killing wise because of the nucleus. You look at James, you look at Mepham, you look at Dargle, and he says they play together even with the force, and anybody we put out there with them, whether it's Hector, whether it's Michael King, they just kind of float in there. The chemistry is so great.
P.J. Johns also.
Right.
They've been together quite a few years.
The chemistry is what makes them so strong. Here's Byrne. Blocked by Michael King. Oh, wouldn't a shorthanded goal be nice at this time of night? 45 seconds up to the man advantage for the Wings. Morera. Wings power play 2 for 12 of late. Around the boards right side. Irvine drills it. Save P.J. Johns. The rebound came out. That was a blistering drive from Irvine. Across the way, Greg Willen trying to settle it. Pokes it out to Byrne. Right side to Morera. 25 on the power play to Ketter. Knocked away. Dennis Mepham will pick it up. Michael King heading for open space. Mepham tripped up from behind. And let's see. I didn't even hear a whistle, but S.E. Bahamas must have blown it from back there. And a foul is going to be called.
I thought I saw a slight hesitation. Bahamas almost reached for that card for 2 minutes because it is a foul directly from behind, but it was not deliberate. It was not deliberate either. I think he just was trying to get closer to Mepham. Mepham's got those long strides, and it was more of a question of them tangling up their legs.
He's trying to get closer so he could really tug on the jersey and not get called. Chico Morera will give it up to Byrne. 8 seconds of the power play. Here comes Willen. Charlie Green ready to come out in 4 seconds. Ketter to Byrne. Crunch trying to close in the shot. Stopped by Johns on the short side, and right back is P.J. Johns. He is penalized. David Byrne got a bump on him. So that could be a costly one.
Byrne will go to the box.
He's apologizing to P.J. Johns, and Johns has a good laugh.
There's Byrne taking the initial shot. It's past Mepham, slightly deflected. Johns gets his hand up to stop it at the near side, but then it's loose again. Mepham tries to knock it back to Johns, and coming straight through and into P.J. Johns is Byrne. And you see Bernie James put the elbows up into Byrne's face just after that. That's just typical type of thing that you want a defender to do, protect his goalkeeper. But Byrne did come in with a knee and his elbows into P.J. Johns.
Burns went over, good sportsmanship, apologizing to P.J. Johns, and I think the reason Johns smiled is because, 1, he's not hurt, and 2, the Crunch have a power play. So let's see, this could be a big turning point, and you'd have to go back with not only obviously the Marinaro goal, but killing that penalty. That's big, because it gives them a chance here now on the power play. 4:20 to go, third quarter. Crunch showing signs of coming back. Karich to Hector Marinaro. The pass deflected by Rowe. He's so quick out there, killing penalties for the Wings. A look at Terry Rowe, a veteran now in this team, and I can remember the first year he came over from England. He is only 25 years old, yet he's played 6 years here in Wichita. From the right side of the field, Marinaro will put it in play. There's a lot of firepower out there. You've got Marinaro and Karich at the points. King, Hoskevy, and Sweeney up top. Played into Sweeney. Lost it off the touch now out to Karich. Toes it to Marinaro. He drills it. Sohn blocked that one. Karich heading it towards the corner. Morera with a flick up for Rowe. He and Sweeney bang and then hold jerseys together. Karich will play it back out now to Marinaro. Byrne has another 1:23 to go on his penalty for dangerous play. King knocking it out, but not a good pass out to Karich. That'll slow down the power play. Karich holding on the part of Vanderbeek, but they went with the advantage, and now they're stopping it. Enough's enough. That was 2 of them,
well,
but on 2 different
there
players.
still was an advantage, but they want to stop it before there's a retaliation.
Marinaro now to Sweeney. Back out to Hector. He has the lone crunch goal. Cleveland trails 3-1, but they've got the power play for another 1:05 here. Karich to Sweeney. Second-ranked power play in the MISL. The Karich shot. King couldn't get anything on it. It's loose. Vanderbeek waits for it. Hoskovy, great job heading it away so that Rowe couldn't break. Sweeney across. Here's a great play, and Michael King will finish it off. Sweeney with good vision. He's looking left and fires right, and the Crunch are within a goal on the power play, and everybody off the bench for Cleveland.
Those are always the danger areas that you try and get into in a power play situation. King taking up that dangerous position. Sweeney finding him quite well, but it goes back to how deliberate and how well developed the power play was for the Crunch. They were keeping possession well, and finally the opening makes itself evident. Sweeney sees it, gets it through to King. King makes no mistake, a nice left footer on the half turn as he puts it in behind Chris Pete.
Tell you, the more you watch Michael King, watch that killer instinct. When he has a chance there, he buries it.
Well, you don't get many as nicely served as this one because it's just sitting up perfectly. It's just on his left foot as he turns inside and he puts it away. Chris Pete, that's have to be a brilliant save to try and stop something that's all the way in behind the whole defense.
So Sweeney sets the table, and King will make the final connection. Michael King's 38th goal of the year from Mike Sweeney at 11:44, and now you've got to start thinking about Wichita feeling the fatigue from last night. Ketter now on the far side. That's a power play goal. Johns with the save and left it there at almost a communications gap between he and Hagen. Michael King on the power play this year now has 5 power play goals. Knocked back to Meppel. In a space for Ferguson. Willen will take it back now for the Wings. The last 2 goals have been scored by the Crunch.
Both on assists from Mike Sweeney.
DeBrito. Sweeney's really had a good year for this team. And you don't always go by numbers when you're looking at Sweeney. He does so many other things to lead the club. Headed away. Dargle, but not out of danger yet. DeBrito will take it. Down to 2:18 left in the third. In for Chapman with his back to goal. Turns. Try to play it across. That was a mismatch. He had Hagen against him defensively.
Hagen bumped him pretty well, though. Didn't allow him to really maneuver as he would have liked to.
Hagen did a good job, but ask any forward who they'd rather have mark him, a forward or a defender, and they'll go naturally with the forward.
Not back, not back.
Willen. Hagen knocked it to Green, and oh, that could have been the tying goal. That would have been a great one.
Green hit that one like he meant it. He came straight through, put everything he had into it. If it's on goal, it's going to break the net.
Green, one of those players, he can sit the entire game, but he comes off the bench and he's got his legs, going, and that's always been a Charlie Green asset. He scored a great goal last week. That was really the goal that turned it around for the Cleveland Crunch against Tacoma. They had no life until he scored that goal. Then they ended up with another and another, and they ended up winning that game. In this particular case, they had some life all during the game, but they were unable to score past Chris Pete. And as you were saying, they're playing a good game at that point, but had nothing to show for it. And instead, the Wings on 3 transition goals had a 3-0 lead. Here's Chris Pete up the middle. Now to Irvine. Look at the pressure now that Cleveland's putting on. Now it's David Byrne. Well, those couple of assists for Sweeney put him over the 20 mark this year. He has now 21 assists. And had a big assist last week.
Pressure!
As he set things up after getting the ball from Dargle and then fed in front to Karich. Here's Byrne. Coming back. That was on the goal to put him ahead. Here's Johns making the save.
Not necessarily a great save, but also important that he does not give a rebound there.
Here's Karich coming back. Zoran Karich, a stutter step, then a shot off the top of the crossbar. Sweeney sticking in to keep it alive. Hoskovy off the boards now to Karich. Played out. Koziel was blocked. He may try it again. This time he'll go back outside. Now to James. You're talking about the save that PJ made. I'll tell you, the main thing is that Cleveland not give up any more goals because momentum is all theirs right now, and they don't want to see a lull in that. Any kind of a goal given up. Here's Koziel in the corner off the boards. Moreland deflects that. They've got the Wings right now on the ropes, though. You can see it. The Wings are not stringing passes together. They're trying to just dump it out.
They're just trying to get through to the end of this third quarter. 24 seconds to go.
A quarter that says Cleveland crunch all over it. Here's Hoskeby. Couldn't get a good foot on it. The crunch with a chance. James, though, was blocked by Victor Moreland. Tell you what, that goal probably looked 50 feet wide to Bernie as he was ready to fire that one. Look at the brace or the heavy knee pad up by the left thigh. Tell you, he's a big man, and when they say he has a thigh contusion, must be a heck of a one to keep him out for 7 games, really, because he's always prided himself on playing a majority of the games.
He's making the sacrifice tonight, as is Hector Marinaro, not at 100%, but giving their all.
Kai Hoskeby says they had to be ready to play this game. They need him. Marinaro. They tried to give it back to him, but it was blocked by Vanderbeck. Down the side, Sweeney blocked it. Chapman is still free. 8 seconds left in the quarter. Lead pass to the right wing for Vanderbeck. Off the boards, John's got a piece. Loose ball to Vanderbeck. Knocked away by Sweeney, and time will run out. Cleveland dodging the bullet at the end of the 3rd quarter. This has turned into an exciting game here on Sports Channel Ohio as Perry Vanderbeck just now getting back up. But he knows that the Crunch are making another one of those Cleveland Crunch comebacks, and we still have 15 minutes to play. Wings are leading it 3-2, but remember, at one point they had a 3-0 lead. Marinaro and King made a difference in the 3rd quarter. The 4th quarter up next.
Turn on Sports Channel America any night of the week for exciting sports.
On comes Fuller on a breakaway. Let's shoot, score! Moving into the circle, side of that tram for Thomas. He scores!
Nobody delivers the NHL like we do, with more than 100 hard-hitting contests straight through to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Bennett's going to have to hurry.
Keep pace with the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame as they challenge top college teams across the nation. Climb into the ring every week with the Sports Channel Pro Boxing Tour. It's a knockout. Feel the fever of high school sports with the National Federation Game of the Week. Sports Nightly keeps you up to date with the latest scores, highlights, and news before and after every event. Plus, men's and women's college basketball, the Los Angeles and Boston Marathon, pro tennis, English League soccer, international amateur events, and more. Turn on Sports Channel America for exciting sports.
What's that? It's a new lottery instant bowling ticket, Dad. Everything's got to be instant these days. So how much did you win? I don't know yet. I got 3 chances. Everybody's got to have 3 of everything today. One's never enough. I know. Used to be that people... Huh? Just won $1,000. And I still got my bowling discount to scratch off, huh? Got another one of those? No. He's buying.
Facsimile. Again, technology is revolutionizing our business environment. Today, information can be delivered within seconds at a cost you can finally afford. Canex, Cleveland's oldest Canon facsimile dealer, can put the power of facsimile to work for you with the plain paper, fully featured laser-driven Faxel 920, the plain paper Fax 350, or the personal Fax 120. Have Canex put the power of Canon facsimile in your hands. Call Canex for your free demonstration.
The Wings are leading the Crunch 3-2, but Cleveland again on the comeback trail. They have scored the last couple of goals. They'd like to get a couple more and win this one and then head back home to tomorrow night's game against the St. Louis Storm, a battle of the 2 expansion teams. San Diego will be next up in the home schedule coming up on April 7th. But as for tomorrow night, when Cleveland meets St. Louis, led by Stan Terlecki and Slovo Olievsky, we still have great seats available at the Richfield Coliseum. And the next Crunch game that you can see here on Sports Channel Ohio comes up Saturday, April 14th. I'm looking forward to that game myself because I've not seen the Comets play since early in the season. And right now they have been one of the very best teams in the Major Indoor Soccer League, although they did lose tonight to Baltimore on the road before, you know, a great crowd in Baltimore. Was that 6-3? Was that final? Yeah, 6-3 Baltimore.
In Kansas City, though, they've won 11 in a row at home.
They've been tough. This is the first time, too, that Kansas City is caught fire at the end of a season. I can't remember them in previous years when they went into the playoffs being this hot. They've had good stretches, but then towards the end, they've never gone in like this.
If you remember when Dave Clemens first came to Kansas City, they had one of those stretches towards the end of the season, but didn't really finish up as strong as it would have looked at one time.
Here's Morera. As the 4th quarter begins, Hagen coming back. It's 3-on-2. Hagen cutting it left side is a shot by King, and he scores from Hagen. It's tied up with only 13 seconds gone in the fourth quarter, and again, open the doors, the Crunch bench empties.
As you said earlier, momentum is everything. For a time there, it looked like Chris Pete was unbeatable. Now the Crunch seem to have his number. They've come out strong here in the fourth quarter. Byrne, this time it's the Crunch who have space streaking through the midfield. He places the ball down towards the corner. King with the right foot sneaks it past Chris Pete on the near side. Not a beautiful goal, but one that counts heavily in the favor of the Cleveland Crunch at this point in the game, and they've been able to claw their way back.
It's all tied at 3 apiece, and those are the big goals. 13 seconds into the start of the quarter from Hagen. Willen, you can hear a pin drop here in Wichita on that goal. Vanderbeek plays it out.
During the quarter break, they're warming up for Wichita, where 3 of their players who have not played much tonight. DeBrito was one of them, Mike Fox, another one, Ian Fairbrother as well. They've got to inject maybe some life into this team, get some of those guys in there, at least for the fresh legs.
Ketter almost became a part of the signage there with King on him along those boards. Michael King with 2 goals, 38th and 39th of the year. Hagen drawing the assist on it. Michael King came into this game with 23 goals in his last 25 games. That's since the start of January, so you can put some more numbers on the board for Michael King. Played out, here's Morera, and he puts that one way upstairs. He was a little bit frustrated as he whacked that ball. A look at Chico Morera going back into play. Michael King now also staying with King. He now has 6 goals in his last 4 games, and this one is still not over yet, but what a big lift for the Crunch to now see some light at the end of the tunnel. They have got themselves in a tie game, and they've got to be thinking about what happened last week against Tacoma.
Well, they've got to be thinking that they can win this one. Wichita obviously reeling at this point, and also possibly really starting to fatigue after they played that tough loss last night against Kansas City.
Cleveland entered the game 4.5 behind. This would knock a full game off of it if Cleveland could win it. P.J. Johns now to Bernie James. Michael King now with 61 points, and that equals his career best. Played back, or his career totals. Johns will send this one long. And now it is Chris Pete. Giving it to Moreland, and then back to Chris Pete. Up for Sohn now on the right side, Victor Moreland. Broken up by Sweeney to Hoskeby. What a great pass in now to Marinaro. He tried to give it back to Sweeney, deflected. Here's Karich, tried to make the cut on his right foot and was ready to line it up when he lost it. And a foul is going to be called.
You see the confidence there by the whole Crunch attack. Hoskeby playing that ball first time on the money.
Here's Chapman in the corner. Brings it outside. Here's Dale Irvine, a 3-3 tie. Irvine along the boards, blocked by P.J. Johns, and he gets the rest of it. Marinaro heading it. Left side to Hoskeby. Now James. Sweeney looking for it. Getting it by Sohn. Mike Sweeney cutting it right side. Green, and it's blocked by Chris Pete.
The determination exhibited by Sweeney over on the boards. That can be the difference in a game.
Chapman coming through. James with him. Pass across to Morera. Deflected over P.J. Johns, and he may have hurt his wrist in going up for that ball.
He wanted to make absolutely sure that that ball did carry off out of play. In doing it, he did whack his wrist a bit. Chapman slipped the ball inside. He's not sure at this point whether it's going to go all the way over. He does smack himself up against the crossbar in trying to be very sure that that ball did not come back into play.
Well, he is possibly going to have it looked at. He's in some pain. It's his left shoulder more so than the wrist. So we'll check it out when we come back. 12:39 to play, but the Crunch have come back from a 3-0 deficit.
Be in some trouble here. Oh, what a shot by Maynard, and down goes Keane.
Welcome back, everyone. Bill Injemy, the trainer for the Crunch, looking at P.J. Johnson. Let's all of us look at what happened to P.J.
Moreira was tied up effectively by Green, was not able to really get a good shot, but this is still very dangerous. If that ball drops down and deflects off the plexiglass, there are Wings players in position to put it away. Johns goes all the way up, makes contact on the crossbar with his left shoulder, and trying to keep that ball out of play.
Yeah. It looked like he was holding his wrist, and when I first saw it, his wrist was up there, but it's definitely the shoulder that hit underneath it.
Yes, his wrist was up by the plexiglass, but his shoulder was taking a chunk out of the crossbar, or vice versa.
Well, P.J. Johns will tough it out, but you know that one smarts. So Johns will go back to goal. It would take a lot more than that to take him out of this game. There's Mike Fox, who has not played for the Wings tonight. He's been bothered by the flu. He told me earlier he's had it since Wednesday. It was bad enough that he did not make the trip last night to Kansas City. He is nowhere near full strength. The flu, if you've had it for as long as he's had it, several days, it was not a 24-hour bug. It'll really knock a lot out of you. Johns playing it up now for Hagen. Off of Dave Hagen. There's a block. Hagen looking for it. Oh, he took a kick in the face from Fox reaching in. No danger. Well, it was a dangerous play. On the restart, Green lost it. Here comes Hagen. No stopping him. Hagen coming through in a last-minute block or last-second block by Willen. Look at the fight of the Crunch. Green knocked it to Hagen. Bodies flying everywhere. Vanderbeck coming back. Mepham flipping it right back the other way. Confidence. You can see it. You can feel it. It's the Crunch. And they're tied at 3 after trailing 3-0 earlier. Tell you, Crunch fans have really got to like the character of this team, the come-from-behind attitude that they've got. Ketter. It's tough to be 3 goals down on the road no matter who you're playing, even if you're playing a last-place team. Here's Willen. Picked up by Mepham. Now to Moreira. We said at the top this game would have some playoff-type intensity, and we didn't lie to you, and we weren't cheated by the players. In the corner, intended for Fox, but that one goes out of play. 3-3, all even with 11:35 to play in the game. Chico Moreira backpedaling there for the Wings, a key member of the Wings defensive unit. You know, the last time these two clubs met here, it was a rough game. There was even a bench clearing incident. Rowe was ejected from the game. Borja was ejected from the game. Tonight, there have been 2 bench clears, but they were when Cleveland scored the last 2 goals. The players just came out to say, nice job.
Well, it's been a spirited game, but both teams really played fairly. They've come out and put on an entertaining show.
Hoskevy tried to give it back to Dargle, who he saw coming up. And as Kai tried to say, nope, I didn't touch him, the foul is called. Knocked back to Chris Peet.
Moreira has had a very good game, and he's made some key plays, but I still see that he's not quite the same player he was before the injury. He used to be more of an intimidator in the tackle. He'd come straight through. I've seen him hesitate just a few times.
Greg Willen looking long. Off the glass, Ketter. Bothered by Ferguson. Ketter got free. The shot scooped up by P.J. Johns. I'll tell you, Ketter does a nice job because Ferguson is on him. And he still makes the move to get that shot away quickly.
Johns also looked very confident in scooping that shot up.
P.J. Johns very much into this game. Made some big saves early. Passed up now. Now we're seeing Wichita try to put a little more pressure on, a little high pressure here. Played up now. Here's Karich. And he got free, but he rushed the shot and put it upstairs.
That's just a fantastic little slip-through pass by Marinaro onto the running path of Karich. You like to see 2 guys like that able to combine and be thinking the same thing simultaneously.
So much more zip, though, to this Crunch team after they scored that first goal. It's like night and day. And again, to repeat, if you're just joining us, they were down 3-0, but they were still playing well. The difference in the game was 3 times the Crunch were victimized in the transition game by Wichita. Wichita scored 3 times, but that was the only difference. They were right there with the shots, the saves, the blocks.
Well, the difference also was the play of Chris Peet and some of the real tight defensive play, particularly right out in front of Chris Peet by the Wichita Wings.
Here's Chris Peet. Now with a lot more on his mind than before when he had a 3-0 lead. Ian Fairbrother right back to Chris Peet. Marinaro going after him as it's played upfield for Chapman. Headed away, and here's Michael King. He's already tied with Tattoo with 4 hat tricks this year. Wouldn't he love to get a 5th one tonight and have it be the game winner? Here is Victor Moreland. Fairbrother up for Chapman. Dargle blocked it, but Fairbrother got the rest. They play on. Johns with a big save. Rebound. Headed wide. And missing again. Wichita not firing that time on all cylinders. Dargle fired into the boards by Fairbrother, and he's going to go off. A 2-minute penalty on Fairbrother for doing what Charlie Green had done earlier to David Byrne.
But an unlucky turn of events for the Wichita Wings, because first Chapman missed on 2 golden opportunities, and now they're going to be a man down. Here's Fairbrother from the corner. He takes a crack. It's off of P.J. Johns. Chapman has one swipe off of it. It hits the crossbar. He comes back with another header. It's not on target. Irvine has a chance. Then the ball goes into the corner. We've got a race for it. Dargle wins the race, but is piled into the boards by Ian Fairbrother. So the Crunch come out way ahead on that series of plays.
So a power play coming up, and the last time the Crunch had it, Michael King scored from Mike Sweeney. Cleveland 1 for 2 tonight on the power play. Here's Fairbrother. 2 minutes, they're going to call that tripping. I thought it was boarding, but it's going to be a tripping penalty. Whatever, it's 2 minutes. Take your pick, folks. Coming back now, Hector Marinaro along with Karich, King, Sweeney, and Hoskovy. King now to Hector Marinaro for Karich. 3-3 tie. Crunch stormed back with a 3-0 deficit. Karich pass. That hit Byrne. It came right back to Karich, down to Marinaro, lifting it well to Sweeney, trying to find King, but it was blocked. Sweeney plays it out. Sweeney, as it's played in now, and Pete got it. Sweeney was still busy arguing with Bill Maxwell about a lack of a foul.
The Wichita Wings are trying to set up high and keep the Crunch out, but that first time pass by Marinaro really solved the problem for the Crunch, got them in behind for that chance on goal.
Here's Michael King. Now to Zoran Karich. Karich without a point tonight. He's got a 6-game scoring streak going. Karich to Hoskovy, and unless that one was deflected, that's going to be a goal kick. A look at Kai Hoskovy, who had his best game this year point-wise on March 15th. 3 goals and 1 assist. One of the goals was his 250th of his career. One of the assists was his 375th or 350th assist. I did it the other way around. 275th goal. Among the all-time leaders, the 3rd leading scorer among all players in the MISL. Hoskovy telling his players to push back. Chris Pete and Chico Moreira. It'll be their job to get rid of that ball, and Moreira will send it long. Mepham. Remember, Moreira can send it over 3 lines. Only the goalkeeper cannot. Here is Sweeney in the corner. Hoskovy trying to play it across. Byrne got it. David Byrne trying to come back, kill some time. Poked away from him. Marinaro having to chase DeBrito. Johns was going to come out. The shot went wide. Marinaro knocking it back to P.J. Johns. And the one thing Cleveland cannot afford is to give up a shorthanded goal and get the crowd and the Wings back into it.
That's the type of situation that can completely turn the momentum in a game.
Hector Marinaro coming back. Now to Karich. Zoran Karich holding with 25 left on the power play. Hoskovy into the corner, got by Sohn. Kai played it across, blocked by David Byrne. Straight up to DeBrito. Can't clear it out of the zone. Michael King with it 15 seconds up. The right footer is wide. Karich at the right point. 10 seconds left on the power play. And then Fairbrother comes out. King across to Hoskovy. In the 3-3 tie, out at the point. King trying to make a cut, blocked by DeBrito. King trying to kick away at a dangerous play. And it was called on DeBrito.
DeBrito covering the ball illegally while he's on the ground.
Karich played it in, deflected wide, a rebound. And that one was deflected as well.
Hoskovy was trying the diving header at the far post.
Here comes Moreira. King having to come back against him. 2-on-2. Mike Sweeney knocking it away. Loose ball. Kept alive by the wing. Sweeney with a partial block. The rest of it to Dargle. Can he tow it ahead? He does to Karich. But a whistle. And we've got an injured wing player. I didn't see what happened away from the ball.
I think Sweeney clipped him at the end of that particular play. I don't know if there's been a foul call or whether they just stopped it because of the injury. I just saw S.C. Bahamas, the one official, signal that, yes, they're calling a tripping call. So it will be a foul for the Wichita Wings.
It is all even at 3. David Byrne getting some physical attention from Carl Glick, the trainer of the Wichita Wings. There's your score. We have 7:23 to go in regulation time. You are watching Cleveland Crunch Soccer here on Sports Channel Ohio.
The key to great sports is great sports coverage, and no channel covers Ohio better than Sports Channel Ohio, designed to bring Ohio sports right into your living room. Down to the buzzer, right to the playoff action of the Cavs, the fast-pitching, power-hitting drive of the Indians, the start-to-finish magic of the Crunch, the ongoing hard-driving competition of the Mid-American Conference, and the crowd-pleasing battles of Ohio high school sports. All there, all on one channel, the channel made for Ohio, Sports Channel Ohio. But sports coverage on your channel doesn't stop there. Sports Channel Ohio also brings you the best of the NHL and Notre Dame. All there, all on your channel, Sports Channel Ohio.
David Byrne looks okay. He got clipped there, and a foul was called, but he will go off and get a little bit of a breather, but you can expect to see him back. Here's what happened.
Here's a hard tackle between Morera and Sweeney. The ball's still loose. Everybody's scrapping for it. This is an important part of the game here. There's Late coming in. Sweeney taking out Byrne. Dargle doesn't hear the whistle. He knocks the ball forward. It looks like the Crunch have about a 4-on-2, but Byrne is down. The whistle had blown. No one had really heard it.
Was that foul on King or
I
on
thought
Sweeney?
It was Sweeney. Sweeney kind of piled Byrne into King.
Well, they'll take a look at David Byrne on the Wings bench. On live action, the Wings are looking at a free kick coming up to the left side of P.J. Johns. Tonight's attendance, 8,023. There are some great soccer fans here in Wichita. Here's Morera lifting it in off a header. It goes out of play, and it stays there on the corner.
Watching the Crunch players, Benny Dargle and Drew Ferguson all coming out after that last break, they look like men with a mission. For them, it is do or die. This game is so critical in terms of what's going to come in this playoff stretch drive. They need it really much more desperately than the Wichita Wings do.
I'll tell you, another goal by Cleveland could mean the difference between a great flight home or just a regular flight home tomorrow when they take on St. Louis, and Kai Hoskeby knows it as he looks on from the Crunch bench. That's Teo Kulsden beside him, who is not taking a shift tonight, but is available if they need him. On the right side of the field, Dale Irvine tried to play it across. He wanted Vanderbeek at the far post, but he couldn't get it there, and it is deflected out of play. So many of the situations when you watch are situations tailor-made for Borja, but again, he has tendonitis and is not playing. David Byrne, I can see him in the runway walking off, so he must have gotten clipped pretty well, but I still think we'll see him back. There's still 7:18 to go before this one's over. Say if he doesn't come back, then it's probably a lot more serious than either one of us think. Michael King, broken up. Morera. And he and Hagen loses that battle. Morera will put it in. Byrne now returns to the bench.
Well, Hagen got about 3 fouls there for the price of 1.
Lead pass upfield now for Ketter. Ketter knocking it back. The Wings, who are playing with so much confidence in the first half, have lost that. You can see it with every touch of the ball. They're thinking more. They're not reacting like they were earlier, and it's the opposite for the Crunch. That's what goals can do for you and to you. Irvine in the corner. He and Mepham are there. And they're going to call that foul on Dennis Mepham. Irvine wants the quick restart. Try to play it to Vanderbeek again. Vanderbeek's been open, but that's a tough pass to make because the Crunch are denying the pass off the inside boards. As well, they have to in that situation. Out to Morera. 6:35 to go in regulation time, and Willen puts that up in the awning.
And
I didn't think that was coming back.
There's some fatigue there, too. Normally, Willen is pretty much on target with that left foot. He wasn't even close there, and you have to think that it's because he's playing his second game in 24 hours.
And the way he plays, he's a physical player. He always
goes all out,
ready to play.
He goes all out, and he does. He'll go in for every loose ball, especially along the boards. He's a real battler.
I can always remember him as a physical player, but I don't remember him coming forward as much as he did. And I'll tell you, if you play it that way both ends of the field, you got to be in good condition, and he obviously is. There's David Byrne. He is back out there as we thought he would be with 6:32 to go. I'm always worried about guys that get fouled and seem like they're out of it. All of a sudden they come back and then they score 1 or 2 goals. So Hopefully that won't be the case here. But Byrne is one heck of a player. He's put up some good numbers in Minnesota and Baltimore, and now here in Wichita. Here's Charlie Green. Right side to Benny Dargo. 6:13 left in regulation time. It's even at 3. The last time these two clubs met, it was overtime, and the crunch won. Here's Karich. Marinaro was headed for space, and Karich held on to it for too long. Sweeney broken up by Byrne. Byrne poking it ahead to Chapman. Dargo sticking in, got the ball. Good job. Benny Dargo won it. Up for Mike Sweeney. Dargo has had a strong second half here. Here's Sweeney. Right side to Karich. On the block. Sweeney will get it. He turns it back inside to Karich. Trying to head it. It's blocked by Sohn. It's still loose. Kicked out, and it's going to be a goal kick coming up for the Wings and Chris Peet. Sweeney has been one of the best players on the field, offensively and defensively. Right there, by all rights, that ball should be cleared by the Wings, but he's just pulling stuff out of a grab bag, I think, Sweeney.
Well, if you remember just 6 days ago in the comeback against Tacoma Stars back in the Richfield Coliseum, it was Dargle and Sweeney who were instrumental in terms of that comeback, just the hustle and the tackling that they made at midfield and turned that game around.
30-year-old captain of the Crunch from Duncan, British Columbia, Canada. Loves Cleveland and the Cleveland area. In fact, all of Ohio. Right side, Hagen. Over top the hunchback of Notre Dame, or Mike Fox, before he took that hit. Fox forgot about the flu that he had for one slight moment and thought about a back problem. Here is Sohn playing it up to DeBrito. He and Green. Jersey pulling. They raised that to an art form. Both of them, the Wings fans were complaining, but looked like both. Here's Marinaro off the glass for Charlie Green, and Tom Sohn is back to win it for Chris Peet. We're approaching 5 minutes to go, and it's tied at 3.
There's so much that goes on around the ball as players mark up tightly against each other. The use of the arms, the use of the hips, grabbing of the shirt. Most players are pretty subtle about it.
Chapman looking for Fox. Green has to pick him up on the right side. Mike Fox off the boards. Now it's DeBrito. Sohn is open. Playing it in to Chapman with his back to goal, but Dargle had him all tied up. Hagen along the boards in the battle. Right in front of Bill Maxwell. And if you're going to foul, that's the wrong place to do it in front of an official. And he's got the foul on Mike Fox. So Benny Dargle will put it in play, the 32-year-old who was born in Liverpool, England. Sends it long for Hoskovy. Heads it into the corner. Now King, here's Hoskovy coming through, and it is blocked out of play, and there'll be a corner kick coming up. Cleveland, if it ever does go into overtime, have a 6-4 mark in overtime, and the Wings are 3-4. There's the guy that if you're a Crunch fan, you love to see taking the free kicks.
They won that last overtime game on that corner kick from Hoskovy out to Zoran Karich. And Hoskovy disguises his passes. He recognizes where the danger is going to be and is able to deliver the ball.
This one a little further out. It's not a corner kick as I had thought it was. Out a few more strides. Now he has more room to think about what he's going to do. And he lifts it right side. Ferguson on the volley, and he put it upstairs. I tell you, that's tough for Ferguson because he's not a goal scorer, but Marinaro or Karich would have said thank you for that pass.
DeBrito was pretty close on the pressure, so he's not all by himself able to line that up.
You know, the pickup of Ferguson was not looked at as maybe something big by any of the media at the time it was done, but you know, when Bernie James got hurt, Cleveland was very glad that they picked up Ferguson.
Ferguson's experienced. He's a useful player in pressure situations because he's got all those years under his belt.
It's almost like having another coach in the field, too, because he's a player coach in the Canadian Soccer League. Lead pass now way up into the air for Irvine, and some jockeying going on. The foul on Ferguson. Irvine ready to put it in play. Says to Bill Maxwell, move. I want to put it in play. To Vanderbeck on the right side. Vanderbeck from St. Louis. Knocks it off Willen as it was blocked by Marinaro. A race for the ball by the Wings bench area. Karich settling it all the way back to the feet of P.J. Johns. Almost too casual with that one. Hoskovy will knock it back to P.J. Johns. Being chased by Ketter, who almost reached in there from behind. Here's Bernie James. Up to Karich, knocked back to Bernie James. Willen was going to go after him and then thought better of it with the dangerous Karich going for open space. And this pass is going to be too far for anyone. We're down to 3:43 in regulation time. Don't forget, Cleveland will go back home tomorrow being the travel day, and they'll take on St. Louis. Plenty of good seats available in Richfield, Ohio, and if you want to make sure you're at the game on time, remember to set your clocks ahead tonight, or else you're really going to be messed up tomorrow. You'll gain an hour of extra daylight savings time. Here's the Crunch next home game tomorrow against the Storm. St. Louis probably there already, waiting for Cleveland. Probably watching this game, in fact. Pass up now for Irvine. Into the corner, Benny Dargle. Clearing it upfield now for Hagen. Good comeback by Cleveland. They were down 3-0 if you're just joining us late. Here's Irvine coming back. A lead pass for Ketter. Dargle can't close him. Ketter, and a good save for P.J. Johns as Ketter put it where he wanted it on the right foot and got full force on that. And now King was fouled by Morera. Quickly it's Sweeney. And he wanted Koziel, or Koziel wanted Hagen. So they couldn't quite work it to perfection. 3:10 to go, regulation time. Even at 3, Moreland sending it in for Chapman with a header, but Johns is right there. Lead pass looking for Michael King with 2 goals already. Kicked away by Sohn. He said it went off King's hand, but that's not what Phil Maxwell saw. Benny Dargle will have the restart.
You can feel the pressure mounting. Whether this game will be decided on a mistake under pressure or whether it'll be an outstanding play in combination or an individual play.
Upfield now to King. Well, whoever wins it, you'd just like to see it be a good goal, not a fluke one. If you're a Crunch fan, you'll take it either way. A handball called. And now what's a penalty? Are they going to call that a deliberate handball?
I think it was most likely something that Marinero said. Well, I don't know. The motion by S.C. Bahamas said made it sound like Marinero was deliberately trying to deceive the officials by using his hands, and therefore is given the 2-minute penalty. Marinero breaking through here. He sees the opportunity, and he does deliberately play the ball forward into his own path, trying to seek the advantage. S.C. Bahamas just behind the play there, sees it clearly, and he sends him to the box.
Well, is there controversy in that? Do you call it a penalty? Is it a foul? Is he gaining any advantage there if they stop play?
What you're trying to do here is to discourage flagrant violations of the law, to try and take an advantage of the situation. So to the officials, it's the same as a guy stopping a ball on the goal line, a defender, let's say. Here he's turned the tables. He's trying to take advantage by a flagrant violation of the rules going the other way, so they want to punish him and discourage that heavily.
Well, what the Crunch have to do is, whether it's a good call or a bad call, they've got to forget about it. Greg Willen will bring it back on the power play for the Wings. A left-footed shot is wide of P.J. Johns. It's up to the Crunch penalty killers. They're in a tight spot. Willen into the corner for Chapman. Off the boards, Willen. Missing on the tackle is Dargle. Willen put it upstairs. And Willen unhappy about something. Maybe players diving in at him?
Yeah, he was slid into by Mepham.
Oh, that's a bad one.
Well, he must have said the magic words. Now, whether his team will have to have a man in the box or not remains to be seen. If it's only for verbal abuse to the official, Willen will go to the box, but the Wings will not lose a man in the process.
And that's a signal. It's just a misconduct. Misconduct penalty. So it should not go up on the board. So the power play will stay there, and now you've got 2 players unhappy with S.C. Bahamas, so it's balanced out.
He's not winning any popularity contests here between Willen and Marinero. They're very straightforward about what they think of his last couple of calls.
Did you hear that? Willen was saying about Marinero, he calls you every name in the book. Well, at least the players are listening to one another. Here is P.J. Johns. Another minute and a half to kill on the man advantage. Here comes Karich. A right-footed shot just wide. Michael King. Look out above as he sends that one way up into the crowd.
I'll tell you what, King really fought to win that head ball after P.J. Johns had launched it upfield, and to get it over to Karich. That's some real battling, and that's the difference in this type of game.
Michael King, that's what he did for the previous 3 years. He combined for 61 points, and he's matched it already. And you know there are plenty more points to go. For Greg Willen, that's his 22nd minute in the box, a career high for Willem. Here's David Byrne, 1:18 on the power play. Crunch, 3, Wings 3, 2 minutes and 3 seconds left in the game. A giveaway by Moreira to Michael King. 2-on-2, King battling with David Byrne. Nice job by Michael King, and he draws the foul. Good effort from Michael King. Kai Hoskeby playing it smart here too, giving them short shifts there, getting King on and then back off.
King doing something very important here, not only killing time, but holding his position, using his body well, and then eventually drawing that foul, where now the Crunch can collect themselves, take a little breather, organize, and try and establish some possession to kill off the rest of this penalty.
And they can give King a little breathing room, and he can come back out. 1:05 to go on the power play for the Wichita Wings. It is a 3-3 tie with 1:54 to go. Was that instant replay, or did that just happen again?
Did they take a second off the clock?
Well, King might be out faster than we thought. He's fully rested now. He's been off for about 30 seconds. Here's Mepham. 3 for the quarter, right? Dargle trying to play it up. Karich with a fake, and now he's going to go off. And there's Michael King. He got his rest. Couldn't happen better if they designed it that way. Ketter as Dargle trying to stick in there. 48 seconds left in the power play in the 3-3 tie. 1:35 to go on the game clock. Regulation time. Moreira swings it to Byrne. David Byrne, a right-footed shot blocked by Dargle. And Bernie James will sweep it out, setting it long over the shoulder. Michael King running onto it. Off a deflection, and Chris Pete will head it to Moreira. 28 seconds on the power play. The Wings to Ketter with 1:13 to go. Ketter across the way to Moreira. In the corner, Irvine blocked. Oh, Dargle and James, you talk about pressure.
How about commitment?
They both went
commitment
for it.
in tandem, throwing their bodies in the path of the ball.
There was no communication breakdown there. They both said on their own, I'm going for it, and they did, and they won it.
Yeah, put it through us if you can.
In 17 seconds, that man Marinaro will be back out, and Hector has had a magnificent night.
Well, if he
that
could,
one goal brought him back.
Could keep his head and not lose his concentration because of that last call that put him in the box, he could come out and score the winner.
Here's Irvine playing it out quickly. Byrne had a free shot. Chapman looking for it. Playing it across now to Dale Irvine. Sweeney put the pressure on. Byrne will get it. 8 seconds left in the power play. Left side of Moreira, less than a minute to go. Here's a quick shot wide by Moreira. Here's Sweeney. Moreira trying to defend, and now Marinaro ready to come out. He is out. Played on the right side of Ketter. 45 seconds in regulation. Ketter right across. Chapman missed it. He was open. Byrne chasing it. So is Marinaro. And Byrne makes the nice pivot. 35 seconds left in regulation, even at 3. David Byrne coming in. Right side, tackle away by Sweeney. Looking to lead Dennis Mepham. But a whistle. Oh, and Mike Sweeney's got to be awful upset about that because they have the advantage.
Sweeney figures he's got an assist. He's just sent Mepham on a breakaway. They don't play the advantage. Nothing can be done about it now, except maybe Sweeney might be sent to the box. But an unfortunate turn of events. We see here Byrne trying to make a last-ditch effort for the Wings. Dribbles himself into a little bit of trouble. Sweeney with the strong tackle, and he's straight up, and he sees Mepham breaking. He puts it forward. Byrne does foul him late, but the ball's already going forward to Mepham. Any soccer fan would like to see the advantage played.
Johns plays it up. Now it's Vanderbeck. 15 seconds left in regulation. Karich will just turn it right back the other way. 10 seconds in regulation. Even at 3. Sudden death overtime looming on the horizon. Left side Chapman headed away by Bernie James. Karich and Moreland, and that's it. The buzzer sounds. Well, when it was 3-0, there were not a lot of people in the stands here that would have given you much for the odds that this one was going to go in a sudden death, but that's the case. And Hoskeby, I'm not sure. Let's see. Well, maybe we shouldn't try to see if we can hear it. Well, it's a 3-3 tie, and we are going to go in a sudden death overtime. I'm not sure if they're arguing the Marinaro handball or if they're going back and arguing against the advantage when they call the foul the other way when Mepham was heading out into the open spaces. In any event, it's 3-3. The next goal is going to win it. Come back and watch it with us.
You've got my old routes.
Probably not many houses back then.
Business looks good. What you gonna do with all your money?
I put in a bank.
Which one?
Society.
Me too. Good bank for us businessmen. Let me see one of those papers.
Let me see 35 cents.
All the things that make you different make us a different bank.
Why should you shop Spitzer for a car, truck, or van?
Why? Because you like doing business with us. You like the values, and you get the service you have a right to expect. Even if you just want to sell your car, truck, we'll buy it outright and pay you cash. So put us on your shopping list, and let us show you what we can do for you. Come in now to your neighborhood Spitzer Auto Store. And by the way, if you'd like a career in the automobile business, we're looking for a few more good people. Let's get together and talk about it.
Steve Smith with a rocket. That's blocked. Out come the Los Angeles Kings. Kennedy putting it on Gretzky's stick. He shoots. He scores!
Hextall stopped him. Look out. Down the ice. Will it make it?
It's got a chance.
He's got it.
Pass to Telio. Kicked off. Gilmore coming in on one. He scores!
Sports Channel Ohio is the cable home of the Cleveland Indians. All season long, we'll bring you the all-American thrills of the tribe. The Cleveland Indians on Sports Channel Ohio.
Does the word on the bottom of your screen look familiar to you? It's overtime again, sudden death. Last week we're in the same situation where the Crunch had and Tacoma went into overtime, all tied up. Let's look at the tying goal by Michael King.
King for the second goal in a row for the Crunch from the left side with his right foot on a pass from Dave Hagen. Hagen puts it in there to the slot. King runs onto it, strikes it well, hard and low with some top spin, and beats Chris Pete to the near side.
So it's sudden death overtime, where the Crunch have done well this year, especially for an expansion team. They've got a winning record in OT. They are 6-4 in the extra session. The Wichita Wings are 3-4, and the Crunch, fresh off last week's overtime victory. There's a look at Michael King. Another great game for Michael King, not just because of the 2 goals. His work rate has really led to a lot of it.
And the work he's done on the penalty killing, too.
This is the 3rd time this year that these 2 teams have played in overtime. In the 2 previous games, and they've all been played here, by the way, the 2 previous games, they've split them 1-1.
The first one was our first telecast. In fact, Chico Borja scored the winner in overtime.
That's right. Here is Victor Moreland up for Chapman. Next goal will do it for either side, and Green fouled Mike Fox. And it's going to be put in play in the restart by Byrne. David Byrne right in front, and P.J. Johns is there. Last time these 2 clubs met, it was Marinaro scoring it in overtime. The assist went to Mike Sweeney, and it was at the 9:53 mark. Here's P.J. Johns. Look at Byrne putting some high pressure on Ferguson. Nice job to take it back. Johns. I don't like that. Knocked away by Fox. I would say that was about 2 passes to your goalkeeper too many for me. Here's Charlie Green. Up for Dave Hagen. Bump by Tom Sohn. Knocked back to Green, but a foul. You could hear the bump. Restart for the Crunch with only 41 seconds gone here in sudden death overtime. Crunch 3. Wichita Wings 3. Knocked back out to Charlie Green. Now Drew Ferguson. Cleared away by Vanderbeck. Who wants it? Dargle says he does. Right side for Hagen. In a battle along the boards. Hagen almost won it. Now it's Vanderbeck. Up to Andy Chapman. Knocked back now for the Wings. Mike Fox to Victor Moreland. 3-3 tie. Last 3 goals have come Cleveland's way. Marinaro, King, and King again. One more and he'll be king for the day, because that one will be the game winner for the Crunch. Foul was called there on the Wings, who will now have to defend against Haskavy, Marinaro, and Karich. Dargle and Ferguson stay at the back. Kai Haskavy sending it upfield. Victor Moreland is back for it. So is Marinaro trying to sneak in from behind. It's cleared away. Ketter after it with Benny Dargle. They collide, and it's going on Ketter for the elbow. He is the smaller of the two players, but he got up there with that elbow, and he gets called for it. Pass up now to Marinaro, settling it off the boards. He'll get it back himself. Hector will find Zoran Karic. Now to Bernie James. 13:20 to go. Sudden death overtime. Tied at 3. Hoskovy holding. Has Sweeney with him. Mike Sweeney at midfield. Playing it off the right boards for Karic, who is pointless so far tonight. 6-game scoring streak, 5-game goal scoring streak on the line. Played now to Moreland by Vanderbeck. Too far, and James will get it. To Sweeney. Mike Sweeney coming in over the line. Cutting to his left, knocked away by Willen, but Bernie James covers up. Full credit must go to the Cleveland Crunch penalty killers, because when it came down to crunch time, and with a little more than a couple of minutes to go in the game, a goal there on the power play, and it's probably game over. And they killed off the penalty. And P.J. Johns may knock out a light bulb or two on the scoreboard. And that's not something he wanted to do, because it's a restart from 50 feet out. And they're going to allow the change to be made. Cozio comes on with Sweeney and King, Hagen and James. Dale Irvine will be putting it in play for the Wings. Tied at 3, 12:32 to go. Willen brought it back on his left foot. Now it's right, and he scored! The Wings win it in overtime.
And not to take anything away from Greg Willen, but I don't think he even meant that ball to come out on his right foot. He stumbled a bit. Michael King went down on the play. His foot apparently caught in the AstroTurf, turning his ankle. And talk about some bad luck for Mike King. After playing so well, he is the player beaten on that play and may have injured himself on top of it as he went to take a step one direction to try and stay with Willen. The ball's out to Willen, and you have to watch his left foot. So King is going that direction. When he goes to plant, he has a problem. His leg falls out from under him. Now Willen is all alone, and he hammers the ball low and hard. Johns is leaning the opposite way. He can't reach back in time at the near post to keep the ball out, but King had really gone down, injured, allowing Willen to come in and take that crack at goal.
And hopefully Michael King is all right. They can afford to lose the game more than they can afford to lose Michael King.
Willen almost stumbled himself when he cut inside there. King misstepped, may have injured himself, and that ball just found its way barely inside that near post.
Well, even though he has 13 goals now in the season, Willen is an unlikely hero, because you think about the other goal scorers that the Wings have, especially the Dale Irvines, of course, Chico Borja, but he is injured. A tough loss for Hector Marinaro and the Cleveland Crunch, because not only did they play well enough to win it, but once the second half started, they were, I thought, by far, Ty, the better team.
They were the better team, mostly in terms of the initiative they took in the attack. They were really playing with a great deal of confidence going forward.
Wings end up winning it in sudden death overtime on a Greg Willen goal. 4-3 is the final here in Wichita. Welcome back, everyone, to Wichita. It was a great night all the way to the very end for the Cleveland Crunch, and it's tough to call it a great night, obviously, when they lose the game. 4-3 was the final score, but they did so many great things tonight, and by all rights, I think should have had this game. Should have been there.
Well, they really did, because you talk about a comeback. They didn't look like they were going to be able to do much at all. They turned this game completely around, have all of the momentum, have all of the chances. It comes down to overtime, and we talked about hoping that it would be a great goal that would end it all, a fitting goal to end this type of game, so hard fought, but it's not really a great goal. You see Michael King, he stumbles and falls. Willen actually struggles himself with the ball, but now he has all this time and space to line up the shot. Sweeney tries to get over there in time with some help. It's not there soon enough, and Willen is able to beat P.J. Johns on the near side. Partially broken play. It wasn't great pass work. It wasn't a brilliant individual move. It was just one of those breaks of the game.
It's really a tough break when you consider that King is there. He's on his man, and no matter what, he's got Greg Willen marked. So Willen's probably going to be looking to make a pass and go somewhere else and really not make that play. But give him credit, because when he sees King going down, he thinks of nothing else except to go for goal.
Well, he goes for the advantage that is there in front of him. And really, to give King some credit, he's covering Willen's left foot. That's the main danger. You don't often see Willen go to his right, and he almost did it by accident there, because he did stumble as he cut the ball, and then he comes out. King's now out of the play, injured as he turned his ankle on the turf, and Willen's able to march right in.
Well, the Crunch were down 3-0. They came back. Marinaro scored his 31st of the year. Then King got his 38th. Then he got his 39th going into the top of the fourth quarter. In fact, 13 seconds in, Crunch did a great job again killing a penalty, a power play for the Wichita Wings towards the tail end of that fourth quarter, enabling it to go in a sudden death overtime, or else they don't even get there. But then in the end, it's a damper on the night for Cleveland, because Willen's goal, his 13th of the year from Irvine, puts this game in Wichita's column. It does not eliminate the Crunch mathematically from that final playoff spot. It certainly puts a damper into their efforts, but I think anyone who follows the Crunch knows that they've got to be proud of the effort tonight.
You have to be proud, but these kinds of losses really do hurt. When that type of effort is expended in a comeback situation, you sometimes almost wish you'd have just come in here and gotten blown out, but instead you put all this energy and teamwork and this fighting comeback, and you come up short. It's a little hard to swallow, but really what's good for the Crunch, in retrospect, when you think about it, they have a chance to make up for this right away. 24 hours from now, they'll be playing the St. Louis Storm in the Richfield Coliseum.
Now, hopefully, they'll have Michael King back. You saw what we saw there, and we have no way to find out anything more. He did get up on his own power and was walking off, although with a bit of a limp. Hopefully, it's just a minor twist or maybe a small sprain or maybe nothing else, and I'm sure there'll be ice on it. There's ice on it right now, even as we speak. And that'll be a tough loss if King could not play tomorrow. But tomorrow, it's the St. Louis Storm coming in. You know it's a big game for the Storm as well, because San Diego won last night, so that gave them a full game. A reminder that our next TV game is going to be coming up Saturday, April the 14th at 8:30, when it's Kansas City in Kemper Arena. That'll be the next TV game for the Cleveland Crunch. Our thanks to everyone who helped us out tonight. Our executive producer has been Joe Tanzarello. This game has been produced and directed by John Kaminsky. Associate Director, Paul Cananaco. And the associate, or master control, I should say, in New York is Tony Castero. We'll be joining Sports Nightly, already in progress, so please stay tuned for that. For Ty Keogh, I'm John Paul Della Camera. We say goodnight. From Wichita, the Wings win it in overtime, 4-3.
The program is produced at the Hofstra University Television Institute